Yo, welcome to another episode of Unpredictable Thoughts Podcast. Your boy Trouble's in the building.
You got your boy Ford.
We back in the building once again. I ain't gonna lie, I apologize for that last podcast that me and Ford did. That shit was long as hell.
It was a nice little run.
Yeah, it was good. I think the magical number on there was 222. 2 hours and 22 minutes. Yeah.
Roots.
Yeah, that was long as hell. So, but I do want to give a shout out to we were drinking Ciroc.
Yeah, Ciroc. Piece of rock. You know it.
I got the other one. What was the one that come in the white bottle?
The pina colada.
Pina colada, and I got some ginger beer to make it a little bubbly wubbly. Like I always say, drink responsibly. If you get inebriated or you can't drive, call an Uber. First, you gotta make sure your goddamn cell phone is charged. But call a Uber, call a Lyft, call a friend. And my new thing that I'm preaching now is like, okay, yeah, you could be out with a group of people, and I want you to kind of tag along in this. This theory is like, okay, we're so quick to be like, call a Uber. Well, now generations call Uber, call Lyft, call a taxi, right? And you could be solo, but people fail to realize is like, yo, when you're solo, even though that person is offering the service, hey, people still take advantage of you while they're on the job.
To that point, I could talk about an incident where I was deployed, and this all service members around, and this taxi cab is being referred to us, or this taxi company is being referred to us through the command.
Yeah.
And they was telling us, hey, if you go out and you need a ride, call this specific company. And one of the dudes on the ship got raped by the cab driver.
Yeah,
damn. So, situations like that you got to watch out for real.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we're, in a sense, in the military, we're preaching that, right? Let's be honest. That's what we are preaching, to not do drinking and driving, because at that sense, it's a person that's offering the service, they're driving. But that person is still might be taking advantage of people. So what would be kind of the new tool, like maybe how the Army do it, battle buddy, or I don't know.
I even go a step further. Yo. You already know I don't drink too heavy anyway.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, why not, preach more about not drinking as opposed to the way we teach about to drink. Because, as a Marine Corps motto, Marines drink.
I think they trying to reverse that policy or that energy. I can't think of it right now.
I don't see that. Because you think about the ball, right? I know it's ball season. A little bit away from the question, but you think about the ball. At every ball you try to have, what do they talk about? Oh, we got open bar? Do we got, what's the vendor? What's the alcohol vendor?
Yeah.
But they're not talking about, or they're not thinking about the people who may not want to even drink. They might want some fruit juice or something. You don't see them like, yo, what's the punch going to be like at the bar? You know what I mean? Do we got Sprite or we got Coke? We got Pepsi? You know what I mean? They ain't asking that.
Hey, go to the dollar store for that shit.
So they want to know who the vendor is for the alcohol. So with that, my thing is, why are we preaching, if you're going to drink, call a cab? Why not, have a different option? Or why are we preaching to drink? Why not
Maybe it's our tradition
drink?
Within the military. It's always been.
Nah, I know a lot of cats that didn't drink. Myself, prime example. I didn't drink before the military.
Well, I understand, but I said the military tradition, you have being drunk as a sailor. Like, those words go hand in hand. You got, when you think of, like, the Marine Corps, we were found in the bar, Tavern in PA. Like, that's repeated knowledge. Yeah. So it's like, how do you change that?
The same way that right now, if you think about where we're going with the generation of, we allow engaged transgenders into the military service. You got people fighting that, but it's still happening. It's still happening. It's people still coming in, even though you have people that were set in their ways that didn't want it to happen. You got, what's another one? Okay, like we talked about earlier, they forcing school on us now. That was never a thing in the Marine Corps. It was always get deployments, fucking know your MOS. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you had to know Chessie Puller when you
know what I'm saying?
300, ate his first steak.
Now is,
that's how you get promoted.
Get your PFT, get your CFT on top of getting a degree, on top of, troop welfare, looking out for the Marines. So, it can be done. It's just the people that, how you want to go about influencing people to not drink.
So
and it's not the popular opinion that people want to talk about.
Change the tradition.
It's not even tradition. It's just culture and environment, because alcohol is not a tradition. Like, that shit was prohibited in the United States to begin with. You know what I mean?
Point,
So it's not a tradition, so to speak. It's just people that just get on their high horse and like, okay, that's not a popular opinion. Because you think about troops in Okinawa.
Yeah,
They
Japan,
go years. They go months. No alcohol. Dry deck. Whole base. Whole island. No alcohol.
But you think they really be abiding by that shit though?
They should be, because the only place you can't get off base, where you gonna go to get alcohol? 7-Day store or the restaurants on base?
Yeah.
And then they outlaw from selling it. So how you gonna get alcohol?
I think they don't. From my understanding, they don't outlaw it on base. They only do it out in town.
I was out there.
Oh, because
we had a couple incidents happen, whatever, involving alcohol. So the whole commander out there, I think it's 7th Fleet Commander, whole island dry.
Damn.
You couldn't go off base.
What year was that?
Like 2016, 2015, 2016?
Okay, yeah.
Because I think I got here in 2017.
Yeah, you did.
So it was like 2015, 2016. But whole island dry, right? So like it was like for a month. But the first week though, sales of alcohol out in town hurt the economy. So the local Japanese started complaining to the military commanders or whatever. And then they's like, okay, we know first week we just gonna go no alcohol out in town, but you can still drink no alcohol, period. Then after that first week, they was like, well, we losing revenue. Mm-hmm. So then it was like, okay, no alcohol out in town, y'all can drink only on base. Then after that, that 2 weeks go by, they was like, okay, you can go out in town, but you still can't drink. You can only drink on base. It's 3 weeks. So now that 4th week, they're like, okay, they losing a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? You could go out, you could go out in town, you could drink now, but you gotta be back. If you're going out in town and you drink, you gotta be back on base. Everybody that drinks gotta be back by midnight. So I mean, it's like
that's crazy.
It's all about, to me, in my opinion, it's all about the dollar.
Yeah.
Because
I was about to
ain't
say
got
that.
nothing to do with the culture and tradition. Because you got. I can't verify it, but I can promise you, it's generals in Headquarters Marine Corps that don't drink.
Yeah.
But because they know it's gonna bring revenue to the Marine Corps, it's gonna bring esprit de corps to the Marine Corps, to the troops, they're gonna allow it.
So in the sense, it's like, okay, yeah, I know it's fucked up, but I need to bring this money in.
Yeah.
So it's like
a
crack in the 80s. Like, I know this shit's fucking up my community, but I need this bread.
Think about
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm telling you, like, nothing.
So they really think about the overall well-being and
no. If you get say overall well-being of the troops, no, because alcohol is a fucking poison.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. Alcohol kills. Tobacco kills. You know they banned that too, right?
I didn't know that.
They banned sales of tobacco on base, and then it was like, oh, no, that's a lot of money. Troops need that. That brings morale. Let's bring that back.
Yeah.
They stopped selling tobacco on base, then they brought it back. But what they do? They jacked up prices. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
I would not know that, yeah. So it's about
the dollar, man.
Yeah, to bring it back all the way around again, it's like, is there a true action? Is it a true plan of other than calling the Uber, calling the taxi, calling the Lyft? That's good. Is it?
It's funny that you
with a friend. Because with you and your friend are just as messed up, then what? Because I know you saying, well, how about just don't drink at all? But
no. That would be my philosophy.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's ways, like being in a leadership position. I always tell when I don't have Marines under me now, but when I was in different units or whatever, I would always tell them, like, look, I would rather you just call me.
Yeah.
If you out somewhere, your plan fall apart, fall to shit, call me. I'm gonna give you an earful. I'm gonna talk my shit. That's gonna happen. But if you call me and you tell me, like, look, hey man, I'm blah blah blah, I done did X, Y, and Z, I can't find a ride, I'm not gonna be like, fuck it, you better figure it out, because I know at the end of the day, if something do happen and you did call me,
shit anyway.
It's gonna fall on me, because the commander gonna come down on me. Like, hey, after the investigation, it was found out that this individual called you and you told him to figure it out.
Yeah.
What's up with that? So now I got to deal with that. So I'd rather just deal with getting up 2-3 in the morning, driving however far, scoop you up, drop you off, and then go home and deal with it the next workday. That's just me.
Let me ask you this. What about Marines who are just hitting the fleet, right? They knew they going out here, they doing stuff they know they ain't got no business doing, right? But then they like, damn, I don't want to call my sergeant, I don't want to call my staff sergeant and be like, yo, I'm drunk, can you come get me? What's up with that, though? Because they don't want to have a reputation, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, but they already put themselves in a fucked up position. First of all, if you new to the fleet, you shouldn't even know who to wild out with.
Yeah,
like, if you new to a unit, you new to the fleet, and I get it. It's the mentality of where that individual came from. I got that. Right. But you think about 13 weeks through boot camp, a month through MCT, and then however long your school is, you should be by then at a point where you can be like, okay, I know, you know what I'm saying, like the Marine Corps philosophy is this, this, and this. I still want to go out and have my fun. But by that point, you should have some type of, okay, let me at least put this type of plan together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not necessarily fall through with to the T to where you're not going to get in trouble or whatever, but you still have some type of, okay, I did 13 weeks here, I did a month here, I did my schooling here, I'm finna go turn up. In the back of your mind, you still should think like, damn, let me see. I ain't got no ride home, I ain't got no car, I ain't got no cash. Yo, let me something.
We used to call it the SMEAC. We used to go out, what's a SMEAC for the night?
Like, that's what I'm saying. So like, it should hit somewhere. Yeah. Like I said, and don't get me wrong, I know it's individuals that can't shake the mentality where they come from. Right. And right now, I'm generally speaking, from where you come from to where you just can't shake it, and I get it.
Suburban versus urban.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? You come from a lifestyle like, let's just say you grew up single parent household, you was out in the streets, you ain't really have no structure, no guidance or whatever. So you got that mentality where like, I'm gonna do me because I've been doing me. I got it. But at the same time, when you think about those 13 weeks, that 1 month you was in MCT, you had structure. You had guidelines that you had to follow by. Whether you was that belligerent individual or not, even in boot camp, you was that belligerent motherfucker. What happened? When you got caught slipping, they sent your ass to the quarterdeck. They sent you to the sand pit. Whatever the case might be, you ain't get away. Nobody really in boot camp got away with nothing for the whole 13 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you still had that structure to where you could see an influence or see to where a person like, okay, I can influence this individual. Like, maybe I can't get to him every time, but they can see other motherfuckers getting caught slipping, so they kind of like, okay, I better not do that. I ain't trying to have that on me.
So, like, you saying, like, how old are you?
I'm 28. I'm 32.
32. No. This shit, hold on though. This shit make a difference. So you saying 32? When did you enlist?
I came in at 18.
18, right? So you got kids. The Marine Corps recruit kids that are like fucking fresh out of high school, if not hitting their junior year, senior year. Boom, as soon as you cross that stage, you in, right? Yeah. Those kids haven't lived life. So you saying you could have the same mindset that you have now versus when you were 18 when you first came in? You're not thinking about that shit. Being real.
That's what I'm saying. I can't. I'm from that lifestyle. I got put out at 14 years old. I lived with my grandmother. I lived from house to house before I graduated and still graduated with an advanced diploma. So you can't really throw that at me and say, with the mindset of a 14 to an 18-year-old, when, like I said, I was bouncing from house to house, right, crib to crib. I lived that lifestyle. Yeah. So when I got there, I was like, okay, motherfucker can't tell me shit, I did this. But like we talked about earlier, once you realize that it's all a game and you learn the system and how to manipulate your way through the game, that's when you know what I'm saying, you mastered it. Okay, boom. I know if he catch me doing this, this, and this, I'm going to the quarterdeck. I know we got to do this, this, and this, but if I go ahead pre-playing here, cut corners here, I can get away with not doing this over here like the way he said. Like I said, it's a game, and as soon as you master that, exactly. As soon as you master that game, you're better off in it.
Yeah. So I want to
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, get off this topic. So overall, have a plan. Do works for you. Maybe drink less. Maybe don't drink at all. Have better friends so you ain't in tag.
You definitely need. If you in a situation where your friends can't scoop you up, you need new friends. That's 100. That's 100. You ain't got no ride, motherfucker. You can't call your people.
Yeah, so that's overall moral of the story. Next, I just want to talk about this in like 5 minutes for it. That's it.
Put the time on because you know how we get.
Put the time on. I don't care if it ding or not. Do like 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
6 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get my shit right.
So, hold on.
Go ahead.
So last podcast that we did, like I said, we talked about the Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, right?
MGK1.
Yeah. So, what did I say?
No, I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, that's it. 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Eminem finally dropped his record. Yeah, it was 2 weeks. You can't rush perfection. You can't rush art. Called Kill Shot.
That's my segue?
Yeah.
All right. So, going back to it, and I heard it, and my boy sent it to me in a group text. I listened to it.
How many times?
One time. Mm-hmm. Then I went back and I listened to MGK. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it ain't got the it just didn't do it for me. And I told them in the same group chat because they asked, they were like, "Hey, what's up? What's up?" Told them in the group, I was like, "Yo, it was a dope freestyle, but like, what did he really say to just destroy MGK?"
Okay, so you say that, right? So my debate for you is it's an unfair advantage.
I already told you in the first podcast, he really has no win in this situation because if he comes back with a freestyle and he destroys MGK, that's what he's supposed to do because he's a legend. If he comes back and he don't, then he failed because like, how do you not body MGK? You're Eminem.
But yeah, it's like how can you body someone if you don't have enough information on them? Mind you, MGK,
he ain't new. He's been out for years.
He hasn't been out for years as long as Eminem.
No. He definitely not Eminem.
Yeah,
but he has longevity in the game. He ain't like a.
What hit records? Name me 3.
I don't. But he's not a. That's what I'm saying. He's not a new and up and coming artist. He's been around forever.
Yeah, been around him doing nothing in a sense. Like,
so why would M respond then? And that's my point I was trying to make. Like you have no win when you battling somebody like that. Like, dude can rap, MGK can rap, Eminem can rap. We talked about that.
I say he could rap just off that song that he produced with a hook.
No, go back and check some of his stuff. He can rap.
Then where is it at? Why is it not hitting the numbers?
It depends
of
on the listener
who's
looking for it.
True.
Because you could say Jada Kiss. It's a lot of people, a lot of cats this generation don't know who Jada Kiss is.
No, they don't.
But you can't say he can't rap. It's cats that know Joe Budden that say he can't rap.
It's
but Joe Budden can flow.
Yeah.
He can't put an album together. He can't go. He can't make a pop.
So I put it like Joe Budden. You could probably agree with this. Joe Budden, Fab. Joe Budden, Fab, Jada Kiss, Styles P, Lloyd Banks.
And what's this list? What is this list supposed to be consistent of?
Just great artists, but cannot put a fucking
great MCs.
Great MCs. Let's say great MCs. Great MCs, but they cannot put a goddamn.
Lloyd, I give him credit. He put a couple albums together. Lloyd Banks. He put some albums together. They did all right. Fab, he do okay. But the rest, for the most part, yeah, they can't put a commercial.
Whole body of work.
Yeah, they can't put a commercial pop. I'm not like a pop album, but like, just.
But it's like, all of Eminem's career is like out there. You know what I'm saying? Like we seen from the beginning till now in a sense. So you have more stuff to work on. Like you could go from album to album. You said this, you said that, it didn't work here, X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But MGK, you gotta damn, okay.
Yeah, you gotta go dig. I get it.
It's harder to dig.
I'm just trying to figure out who the fuck is MGK.
Machine Gun Kelly. See, that's what I'm saying. It depends on who's looking for him. Because you got cats. You know who Riff Raff is?
Yes.
You know who? So that dude can spit though. Yeah. What's my white dude? Ritz.
Crackers. Don't know.
No, I heard the name, but
look him up. RITTZ. Look him up. White dude from Atlanta.
Yeah.
He can spit, but it depends on who's looking for him. So I mean, like, you might listen to him like, I don't really fuck with him, but if you listen to what he's saying, his lyrics, you're like, okay.
I like Russ. That. You ever heard of Russ?
Yeah, he decent, but he like more pop. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Russ is pop.
I mean, yeah, he's not a rapper.
Oh,
he can flow,
yeah,
but yeah, he's more pop.
Okay.
More pop, more commercial.
I don't think the battle's not over because, like I told you, I was like, technically MGK has to respond. Right?
He don't.
Technically, MGK doesn't have to respond.
Well, nobody got to respond in general at the end of the day.
At this point, he don't, because right now on social media, right, there is no clear Eminem bodied him. You got people on both sides saying MGK won, Eminem won. MGK won this battle, he bodied Eminem. So right there, Eminem already lost. Because as a legend, you should not let MGK, even in the same sentence as you, be argued that you won or lost. That's why I told you, Eminem, unless he came out and just destroyed it to where like, damn, dog.
But the thing about it, this is the same generation that be like, okay.
No, you got no. You got artists that rap saying, damn, M, like, we expected more from you. That was like subpar. This ain't just no cats on the internet or little Johnny that's playing fucking Fortnite. This is like cats in the industry like, damn.
But it's an unfair advantage for MGK though.
No, it's an unfair advantage for Eminem.
No, it's unfair towards Eminem because it's this expectation. No matter
Exactly.
what he
That's what I said.
does, no matter what he does, he could have bodied him.
He
But
has
the,
to.
The simple fact that MGK came back with a diss, which nobody else ever does, that's already okay. This is already like my expectations are high.
It's at 6:05, but he came back with a diss that had substance. That's the thing that everybody keeps skipping. It ain't just he threw a shot at Eminem and it was a dud. Like he hit a dagger, and that shit cut deep to the point where Eminem had to respond. You know what I mean? Eminem
And
threw a
just-
shot
He
at
had,
Joe
he
Budden.
had more to work with.
Cool.
Regardless of whether he had more to work with or not, the fact that it was a dagger, he won.
Yeah.
That's a
When you have more to work with,
Not
of
a
course
big
you're gonna win because
Nah,
it's more shit
nah.
to flip. You have more stuff to flip. If as an artist, if I have 20 years that's out there in the world, right, versus you that have maybe like 6.
Name one person Diddy bodied.
Diddy?
Yes. Everybody dissed Diddy. Name one person Diddy ever bodied.
name one he responded to that he didn't have another rapper write or rap the diss to.
See what I'm saying? So like I can't give him that because he's a legend. He had longevity in the No, you gotta pick. Joe Buttons called him out. He said, "Look, if Eminem want work, he can get it."
Man,
Eminem
no.
threw a little shot in his little rebuttal. Joe heard it and was like,
And like I said before,
at the
with Joe
same time.
Budden being media, Joe Budden's a rapper first,
and
and
then
then
don't
Yes.
discredit Joe.
And then-
Because I was like, where you going with it?
and then he's media.
Yeah.
No,
Same time.
when it's
Joe
when
don't
it's
want
an
it either.
artist to an artist, no, you respond with art. Don't respond to to your media. Don't respond with media. You know what I'm saying?
He getting his check. I understand
Oh,
that. He
yeah.
throwing it out there,
Yeah,
getting
you
ratings,
got
getting
it.
views. I got that.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Same time.
Keep
you
that
a-
same energy.
yeah, if
That's
you a
all I'm saying.
legend, we 7 minutes. If you a legend
All right, we
and you
done.
and somebody take a shot at you and you respond to it, be prepared for it. Like I told you, he got to bring his A game. I think he brought his C+ game. Just keeping it a buck.
Well, okay.
And that's 8 minutes. Got it.
I give you that. All right. Next topic I want to hit real quick. Damn, Hurricane Florence came through.
Yeah, still fucking up things.
I didn't. So I was in Cali the whole time, and
Living
living. I really wasn't living. I was fucking working. I was goddamn working till about like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Yeah,
How many days y'all was out there for?
for like 4 to 5 days is a leadership symposium.
You ain't meet nobody out there.
No, but so Hurricane Florence hit. Of course, we're at the central location of our base. You know, it always hit the news, so it's not like it's some damn OPSEC thing. Like I'm exposing something. This is on the news.
Yeah.
Goddamn general of that base. He left a message saying that, hey, you know, we're gonna send the recruits to Albany, Georgia. So they was gonna transport from Parris Island to Albany, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
And then like a day later, they's like, no, we not. And then a day after that, they's like, okay, we are. The day after that, they's like, no, we not. So they canceled Family Day and all that shit. Was that a smart decision? Or like how from
Right,
yeah,
Hindsight, looking at it now, it was a smart decision
Yeah.
because the storm didn't hit, obviously.
exactly.
And it saved however many millions of dollars and all of that cost or whatever. That's hindsight.
Hindsight. When you win it.
Was it when the storm hit? Thursday and Friday? Yeah. So like Wednesday when I'm walking around, I'm like, dang, they ain't coming.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, that's a risky move right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a tough decision you got to make. Again, it comes back down to that dollar. So from his standpoint, I'm pretty sure he was looking at it like, okay, the storm right now is still tracking, to go up north. So hit the coast and flow up. He was probably looking at it like that, and he's like made the call to say, the storm ain't tracking to come down this way, so I'm gonna make the decision to stay here.
So yeah. So
Again,
good.
hindsight, I say it was a smart decision.
Yeah.
But on Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon,
Like you
and
pushing
I'm
it,
finding
bro.
out, hey, they not coming. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to be the one making that decision.
Yeah.
So I mean, I questioned it at the time, but like I say, fortunately, everything worked out. So you don't really have to go to it now to where you gotta like, dang, I don't know. You should have made a different decision. Like
Yeah.
I said, hindsight, looking at it, he made the right decision. But Tuesday, Wednesday, I was questioning that decision. So I mean, you gotta take the good with the bad. I can't really say he made the right decision because obviously he did. The storm didn't hit. The troops stayed up there. Everything was safe. Families didn't get to come down. That's what I'm saying. That's
They're gonna refund everybody.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides to it. The graduating Marines didn't get their family to see him or whatever. But from that standpoint, that's a safety measure.
Yeah.
Like, he can't be responsible for the family members because at that point, like, they have no ties to the military. But those recruits are under his care, so he can kind of, work with that. But again, today looking at it, right decision.
Yeah.
Tuesday,
I
Wednesday,
agree.
nah, bro.
Dog,
You
you
need to,
pushing.
you need to go ahead and send them troops down there. Fuck the cost. Go ahead and cut that check. That was my opinion on Tuesday, Wednesday time frame when I'm looking at that coastline and everything getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, so Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm like, nah, you made the wrong decision. Hindsight, good decision. Hey, that's why you up there and I'm down here.
See, what they did was when I was in the barracks, I had DIs and that shit threw me for a loop. I was like, drill instructors like, But what they really should have did, they should have brought motherfuckers from Camp Lejeune down, honestly. Because honestly, if you ask me, I feel like they got hit the worst out of Paris Island.
Yeah. So,
Between them two, definitely they should have brought down.
So that's my
Lejeune.
next question is, I guess Camp Lejeune was like in the eye of the storm, but the person in charge, male or female, I want to say some male or whatnot, was like, hey, y'all bunkering down. And then, I don't know I don't care, I'm going to say it. From the underground, we all know the underground, the Lance Cooley underground, they was like, yeah, he ain't even in state. So I was like, damn, that's kind of jacked up, but I'm like, what is that a wise decision then? Because technically now, like, Lejeune, they shut down till next Monday.
Yeah, my boy, he out there. I got some people in Cherry Point, Lejeune, or whatever. That decision to me was not the right decision.
Thank you.
South Carolina, I can kind of justify. I can look at that and be like, okay, it went either way, whoop de whoop, cool. Because the storm was tracking to hit North Carolina.
Yeah.
Like right in North Carolina, right by the bases. Yep. So it's projected to hit there and then it could go left or right. South Carolina, like I said, it was like, maybe do I should.
You pushing it, you 50-50.
North Carolina.
You got a possible. 3 and a possible.
Y'all got to pull chalks. Hey, if the aircraft get destroyed, the base get destroyed, it's cool, but we got to get the troops out.
Yes.
That's my call on it.
So,
because it's projected Category 5, worst one since forever to hit right on the coast where we operate from. You got to go.
Yeah, so I was talking to Jones about it, and he was like, man, he said it was better for them to bunker down because he said from a commander standpoint, it was like it's harder to get the Marines back into Lejeune. And I was like, no, because we live in the world of technology. You do accountability. Call this number XYZ. You need to be back by this time. If you're not, you just charge them. Or you charge them leave days.
I can see, me, I told you I can play devil's advocate for both ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even with that, I can agree with Jones' statement to the point where, like, you already know hey, y'all got to evacuate. They don't really have a set area where they can. I mean, if they could, they would have did it. But they don't have a set area where they can get all the Marines to go to. Because, that's a logistics thing. They got to figure out a base or a spot big enough to accommodate however many thousands of Marines that's on Lejeune, right?
Yeah.
So that may be, I don't know, that may be one factor as to why they made them bunker down. They didn't have a spot quick enough or, they have resources fast enough to get everyone from that area to a certain spot. So I can argue that, like I said, I can argue on both sides. But at the same time, if we're going to argue and say the reason why he didn't evacuate was because he didn't think Marines going to get back in time, you think about death. Motherfuckers ain't coming back from that. So you really willing to risk death as opposed to, like, UA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can still hold a Marine accountable for being UA. You can't hold a motherfucker accountable for dying. Like, you told me to stay, I'm here, now I'm dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now you got to love that. And you got to pay that $400,000.
I can argue, yeah,
well,
exactly.
Not out of your pocket.
Per individual.
Yeah,
you know
not out of.
So again, I can argue on both sides. I can see where what Jones came out with that theory, and I can even agree with that. Like hey, if a motherfucker cut them loose, it might be a hard time trying to round everybody up. And then that's Congress. Like, he got to report that up. Like, where the rest of your troops at? We missing 183 Marines, 183,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm missing troops. So you got to report that to Congress.
Yeah.
So,
because he was even saying in the lines, like, I guess, like, back then, I forgot what hurricane, Jones,
Old
came
as
in
fuck.
like 86 and shit. But no, but he was saying like even as an MP and shit, like they'd be in Humvees and just patrolling around while the storm is going on. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, we'll tell Marines to get back into the barracks and things to that nature. And I'm like, yeah.
From me, I could look at it like this. I got the money, I got the resources, I can go the fuck, I can go.
Yeah.
You gotta think, what's the largest population in the Marine Corps? Lance corporals, corporals,
Sergeant.
maybe 20,
E1 to E3.
21.
Yeah, E1 to E3.
They ain't the most financially savvy motherfuckers. Some of them might not even have cars.
Yeah.
The only way they can get back home is to fly. Most of the airports shut down. So yeah, it's a lot that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta think about.
Yeah.
And like I say, the largest group in the Marine Corps is that Lance Corporal, young sergeant. That's the largest group right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not the most financially savvy individuals. So you like, okay, if I tell them to evacuate and it's on them to go somewhere, where they going?
Well, I had a few friends.
Your fellow
that came
Marine.
down. Yeah.
That's true. You gonna get some like, hey dog, y'all can ride with me. Come on, boom, boom, boom. But again, look. Let's just look down here.
Yeah, I ride solo, so I understand.
No, I ain't talking about that.
Yeah.
How many other people down here got cars?
True.
So if we was to evacuate here, you gotta think, okay, now me being who I am, I know this person. Let me see, they got a ride. Let me see where they going. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going through in my mind, as opposed to just like, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I got people in Virginia. I got people in Florida I can go holler at. I got people in California I can go. I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's my mindset. But if I'm thinking like, okay, I got a whole section of Marines under me, like, damn, I know 17 of my Marines ain't got no car. Their closest families in Texas, and the airport shut down. How are they gonna get to Texas?
They're not.
So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's again, that's some of the things they probably had to think about. I don't know. I'm not up in the big office.
Yeah, the
making
big
these decisions.
meetings.
All
I
I
don't
can
know.
look at is from, do I stay or do I go?
Yeah.
In North Carolina, I'm kind of like, hey, y'all got to go. But again, hey, where they gonna go? Who gonna go where? How we gonna get them back?
Yeah.
Shit, you got some Marines that ain't got phones.
True.
It's
and this
crazy. It's
2018.
odd. It's weird. But
Yeah.
you got some Marines that can't afford to pay cell phone bills.
Now, being that I had some connects down in Lejeune, they allowed them to go wherever they please.
Yeah, some
for the
people did
storm.
leave.
Yeah.
Some people did leave.
Yeah, because I had some people that came down to Atlanta and they was kicking it until the storm passed over, and then they went back to Lejeune. But Lejeune is still
It's still
not
flooded.
active right
They-
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Until
Yep.
next. Yeah,
'Cause,
this coming
now
Monday.
People in Cherry Point, they got told not to come back till next week.
Damn. Yeah, that's free.
Sleep.
That's a freebie right there.
Yeah.
You gotta love the military. I be telling people.
I told you, man.
Until we gotta clean up.
Yeah, for real though.
You
For
gonna
real.
get that check
Police
out? Yeah.
call.
They gonna earn
Police
that.
call that bitch.
They gonna earn that check.
Yeah, you will earn that when
Next
you
2
get
months.
back.
$2 out.
Exactly. Hey,
Wipe
dump
it
all
down.
the trash over here,
Wiping
Marines.
down black mold and shit.
Yeah.
Hazardous pig.
And then 2
'cause I'm
days
a
later,
kid.
dump this trash to the left side, to the right side. 2 days later, dump this trash from the right side to the left side again.
You gotta take the good with the bad, man.
Yeah, it's like
You know what's
Yeah,
coming.
Definitely.
That's the beauty of it. You know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I guess just overall, I probably would like to. I don't know, maybe just because I'm young, but they probably kick me out. But I would like to be in those rooms of like where they
Making
make those
decisions on- see
decisions,
how
or
they make the
how, and like just like overall things to that nature.
That's what I'm saying. Like we can. It's like the armchair quarterback.
Yeah,
Sitting from the outside looking at the game, you can always be like, "Oh, you should have did that."
yeah.
But when you in there and you see the actual questions and you see the decision making process and the things they got to go
And
through,
money and
Yep.
cost,
Yep.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
when you see all that, it kind of changes your perspective on things. Like I said, South Carolina, they made
pushing
it.
it. He's
Yeah,
pushing
like,
it. Yeah.
you made the right decision. Cool. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm like, they gotta go. North Carolina, I'm like, yo, them niggas
You
should
should've
have
been
been gone.
gone,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, dang, bro, y'all talking about South Carolina?
Can I
I'm
make a
looking
comment?
at like everybody in North Carolina, like, yo,
Yeah.
y'all gotta go. Cause I mean, it's roads right now still shut down.
Yeah. Damn. Imagine all the people that brought all them cases of water, all them Walmarts. And like for the areas that didn't get hit that bad and the Walmarts was cleared out, them people got cases of water just sitting.
They'll be using them though.
Yeah.
Shit, they can't go nowhere for a while.
Taking a bath and drinking.
Yeah. But We still drinking this Ciroc
Lightly,
Light.
responsibly.
responsibly on the goddamn day of the week. Don't worry about it. How about that? But for y'all that don't know, I know y'all been hearing oh damn, I got shit on my computer. Why you didn't tell me?
Man, you the only one with the computer. How we finna tell you?
I do want one of them hats though.
Okay, but
Hey, keep that same energy, dad caps.
yeah, distressed version, but unfamiliar voice on the podcast, unfamiliar voice, you know, and you know the whole purpose of my podcast, like I said before, and I'm gonna keep on preaching. It's not to disrespect the military, it's not to disrespect the DoD in the whole. We all live in. I do feel as though that the military doesn't catch up with today's generation. Like certain branches.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, certain branches of service take so long in catching up with today's generation.
Yeah,
and it's been messages out there, particularly in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
It's been out there on paper
Right.
of basically saying like, hey, the Marine Corps has the highest turnover rate from ranks E1 to E4,
Mm-hmm.
and so bottom line message is why. So some points of my podcast is to not interview, because I don't want to just interview. That's not my style. I want to talk, sit with you, and just get the hardcore. Like, yo, if you got swindled from your recruiter, you got swindled. That's the end all be all. But I'm not saying I'm a spokesperson for the Marine Corps at all. At all. In a sense, I'm not a spokesperson for the military. I'm just giving a light. Like, look, I've talk to these many people, and these are reasons why. If y'all want to change it, y'all want to change it. If y'all don't, y'all don't.
Well, let me just be real.
Hold on.
Whew.
So
Whew.
I have Irie right here.
Yeah.
She about to tell a story.
All right, so
how you doing today, my young sister?
I'm good. I'm good.
Where you
I'm
from?
good. From VA, 75 Tower Water.
434.
Of course.
VA, we don't play.
Ooh,
I only know about Roanoke.
That's close. That's
Me
close.
neither.
You like 45 minutes away.
That's where the clip's at.
Hold on. Whoa.
No, the clip's not from Roanoke.
I don't know shit about Roanoke because don't nobody go over
They
there.
on the coast too.
Oh,
They
they
over
on-
there where she at.
We near Virginia Beach. We the
Yeah.
motherfuckers that got hit by Florence. You know what I'm saying? We was evacuated.
So that's where the big Navy base.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm 15 minutes away from there.
I swear to God, like that area is the most hooded out, most military area
It's not,
I've
yo.
been
It's
to.
not. It's really not. I
Fool.
promise you.
Yo.
You been in Norfolk?
Yes.
Are you think it's hood?
Yes.
What? Worse than Albany?
No.
Okay.
But it's still hood. You can't.
It's not.
You can't discredit that.
What, Norfolk? You must be looking just at Norfolk. Just at Norfolk.
That
'Cause
whole.
By Nova and motherfucking MacArthur? Yeah, that
Nah,
shit
we'll
is something
switch it up.
else.
We will come back to this on
Okay.
a different podcast.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to ride for
'Cause
VA all along.
I'm from
Tie
VA. I
order-
know.
Tie order, though.
Oh, that shit hood too. Baby. Come on, we'll go.
But
Come
like
on.
I said,
Alright.
it's the most hoodest, most military place I ever.
I ain't gonna say that because Lejeune ghetto is fuck too. Jacksonville, North Carolina.
What do y'all consider hood? What are y'all looking at?
That's the big question.
Yeah, like, is it the way the city look? Is it the roads, how that shit fucking up your car?
When you
Like,
got, we gonna get on to because you know they had prostitution and drug rings on base in Lejeune. You don't think that's hood?
I don't live there.
You don't think that's hood?
I'm from Virginia. I don't live there.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they had
So-
meth labs in certain barracks.
yeah, on base.
Yo, shit was a meth lab in
Bodies,
Albany.
bodies
Yeah, and it was a
floating in rivers
prostitution
on
ring.
base. That's. But anyway, we'll.
Yeah, we'll go somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll-
What?
yeah, but so from VA,
Yeah.
or whatnot. Common question: what made you want to join the Marine Corps?
Honestly, man, I was just trying to go to school. I was trying to get my education because I went to Virginia Commonwealth University up in
VCU?
Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, of course. I was there running, doing
Track?
my thing. Yeah, running
Okay.
track. I was a hurdler, doing my thing there. And then
You only did hurdle, or what?
I did hurdles and any short sprints. If you name it, I got it.
200.
No, that's too far.
That's only half the track, right?
Look, I was good for a good 1 and a 4x1. The 2 was pushing it. Hey, look, but I was short though. I was short.
You
I'm
still is.
I'm still, but I was fast. When I
Yeah.
went to all my college visits, all them bitches was taller than me. I'm like, God damn, this lifestyle Barbies.
Yeah.
But like on some real shit though, like that's what I did while I was down there. It won't enough. Like I couldn't run far. I come into the Marine Corps, I still couldn't run far. So That's what it was.
Your recruiter didn't kind of prep you into that. Like,
I was motivated. I was literally
motivated to run, or just motivated in general.
motivated well around it. Like I was getting up early in the morning, going to run, making sure my shit was good. But they fucked me over because when I went to MEPS and I was going through my process, they told me, "Hey, something wrong with your JPass," and I was going on a visit to actually leave to go to Paris Island.
What's JPass? I don't.
JPass is your security clearance.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's your security clearance. So I go
You got
down.
that shit early.
Right. So I hit
Depending on
months,
what you come in for, you gotta have a security clearance.
Oh, gotcha.
and I was going admin.
Yeah.
I was going
She's
admin.
seeing everybody's shit.
Oh.
Right. So I did that shit, and then it was like, hey, well, something went wrong with your clearance, so you're not going to be able to go. So I go again, go through another visit, go to MEPS. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm in my motherfucking polo, khakis, Sperry's, ready to go. They're like, no, something's still wrong. So I'm like, this is some bullshit. So I get demotivated because I feel like they lying to me at this point because everything was straight to the point up until then.
Yeah.
So then, after that, they tell me I'm going, so I go in there with the same mindset like how they had it the other 2 times. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not going for real. Then, next thing I know, I'm on my way to go to Corral. This is my last real meal. And then...
Real niggas eat at Golden Corral for their last supper.
Yeah.
And I was fucking it up. The ice cream machine was broke about the time I got finished. Yeah, so then I go through, and here I am, Paris Island hitting the footprints, and they yelling at me like, we here. And I didn't believe it. I wasn't mentally ready because they took me off track to where I was. I was motivated. I was dedicated. Boom. And after then, it was just kind of like...
So I'm going to kind of retrack your story. So you said you was in college. So it's like, what was why did you choose the military over college? Did you not have a full ride with running?
See, I had a full ride with running.
Damn.
I had a full ride. As for a pencil, they like, what kind of pencil you need? Number 2, number 3, they make it up. Nah.
Or was it mechanical from all my lead pencil users?
Nah, but for real though. So
with the click.
it was that, and then like I got finished with my freshman year. Low key, they cut my shit short. It was like, well, we don't feel like you put out enough. But I was never a long distance runner, and if anybody who runs track knows that you have something called base training in the first 3 to 4 months is base training. So you doing all cross country shit, building your strong base so that when the season come around, you good for sprints. I never was able to do that shit. So once that shit hit real and it was no longer fun for me, it was more of a market. It was more of a business for me. I was just kind of like, yeah, this isn't what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
So your freshman year of college, you knew that running wasn't for you anymore.
Yeah.
So in that sense, would you lose your scholarship at that point?
What they did was they didn't lose me, but they in a way punished me. So they said, we're going to pay for 1 year, but you're going to pay for the other. And I am a person who's afraid of financial debt. So they were going to pay $13,000 for me to go 1 semester, and I would have had to take out a loan or pay whatever I could the second semester. And I'm like, I'm not working. I'm doing this thing on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got family, but I don't want them to have to deal with it. I'm an adult now. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the military. I'm going to let them do their thing. But what they don't tell you is you got to wait a whole another 2 years. I'm thinking off rip, I go in, I'm good. Like, I'm in the military. I got school. I got all this. So come 4 years, I'm out. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. But my recruiter, I will give him that. He was cool. He gave me some shit where we could relate. And it was on a realistic standpoint. But at the same time,
So...
yeah.
So, because I always talk to Jones about this, I always ask him, like, do recruiters lie? He said, well, no.
They don't.
The people don't ask the right questions.
And they know that because you're young. And you, most of the time...
Young and green to society, right?
I ain't even going to say that. You just, like me, prime example, I didn't look up military shit before I joined.
Right.
Yeah,
in my household, in my immediate household, my grandmother's house, my dad, none of them had military. So I didn't have anybody when I'm talking to, like, about joining the military, how the military work. Mind you, I got military family members, but I didn't talk to them. I just know they was in the service.
But
that's all I know. No. Nobody that I grew up around was ever in the Marines.
It was Navy, Air Force, Army,
I had,
everything
Army
but...
and Air Force.
The proud. The Marines.
No Coast Guard.
Again, so that goes back to the not knowing, you know what I'm saying, just green to the idea of military. I didn't know, I didn't ask shit. My recruiter, he didn't lie to me, he didn't manipulate me. He asked me what I want to do, what I like to do. I said, something with electronics, He was like, all right, cool. Took tests. He was like, look, damn, you got high score. You qualified for this, this, and this. So through a list, I looked at shit. I was like, what's that? He was like, you want to be a mechanic? I was like, yeah, I like working with my hands. He's like, cool, I'm going to put you on aviation electronics. That's what I got. So I used to work on planes, all electronics on planes. So to that point, my recruiter didn't lie to me. It's just I didn't know the questions, but because my MOS rated a bonus, but I didn't know about that. I'm not mad because he didn't tell me. I'm like, shit, I wouldn't have told you got money either if you motherfucking, you signed up. I got you right here, boom, boom. I'm not mad. He didn't tell me that I rated a $5,000 bonus.
See, but that's the difference
But
between
that's what I'm
pushing
saying.
a number and giving a fuck. Like,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It goes to your point. Like, you just don't know what questions to ask. But had I did my part, talked to some people, got some information, I would have known, like I was telling you, I would have known, like, okay, if I go into this specific joint, that's bonus money right there. I get something for that. But I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know enough. I didn't do my part to find out enough information to even ask that question. What's this job? Do we get bonuses? Are we this, and this, and whatever?
see, that's that shit that made me go back. They always stress protect what you earn, right? But I feel like, why do you have to stress it? You stress it way more than you do within the organization. You're protecting what you earn with people who are supposed to be protecting what you earn. You feel me?
What? I just got so confused about that.
No. So, okay, the Marine Corps logo is what? Protect what you earn.
It's not.
That's what they going
Yeah,
to.
that's
They
they
do.
saying. That's they saying
That's
right now.
But they
That's what
they
we going
feed
to.
that into you, right?
Yeah, now, yeah.
So within the organization itself, you never would feel like you would have to go the extra mile to protect what you earn within the organization. Like, you feel like you have to do that shit with outsiders. You do?
Give me an example. I think I got your reach, but then it's like, maybe. So give me an example.
Okay. So you going through, you doing your training. Okay, let's say y'all going for promotion,
So
right?
once you in the organization.
Right.
Yeah.
Once you have really made it through boot camp, MOS, all that stuff, right? You
Yeah.
in the fleet. Boom. Now, it's literally up to you. But the old heads, they helping you, they doing what they can, but they're not giving you, I feel like they're not giving you that extra mile to help you really understand the system as a whole. And everybody don't get it like that. Everybody don't.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
So, like, you protecting what you earn, but you're protecting it within your own organization with people who are supposed to be helping you protecting what you earn. You know what I'm saying?
I get it
to a point, but if I'm speaking from me personally, like I'm telling you, like I always say,
his leadership
from my
style.
own opinion,
Yeah.
I've always told my Marines, nobody give a fuck about your career more than you.
Right, which is very
So
true.
at the end of the day, how I came up and what's in my pocket, I'm protecting what's in my pocket because I can't feed what's on your table if I'm constantly looking out for you, I can't focus on what's on my table. So with that in mind, I have to look out, you know what I mean? I tell you, hey, nobody give a fuck about your career more than you. So if I tell you that, that should let you know, okay, I need to invest in myself too.
Oh yeah, a little bit more.
So
not
you say
rely
that
on.
as 30 plus, not like
No, that's
30,
me.
but
That's me coming up from the streets. Like when I'm out shooting dice at 14 years old, and I got to worry about whoever next to me. I'm like, okay, the motherfucker see I'm hitting.
Everybody don't got that, though, you know
You
what I'm saying?
right. That's why I
Everybody
say
don't.
nobody give a fuck about your career more than you.
But
if
they
you come
stress
into
it
this,
to you,
it's-
though. They stress it to you like we're gonna look out for one another. I feel like they hype it up to be a false dream, and then everybody don't abide by those standards we met.
What
They
do you
hype
want-
it up way too
True.
much than what
What
it
do you
really
want
is.
them to
Hold
do
on,
though?
But
Oh,
we
okay.
in uniform, but we still doing civilian shit. Let's be real. Like,
Okay, but to that point, what they always tell you in boot camp? You got your 10%, right?
okay,
That 10% is who you have to protect yourself from. Because it's motherfuckers that's who you gonna go out. They got the same uniform on as you. They got the same, supposed to have the same ethos, mentality as you.
Supposed, yeah.
Supposed to, exactly. But they tell you, you got the 10%. Separate yourself from that 10%. I was always taught that. Don't get caught up, mixed up with that 10%. And the Marines that I came in,
Yeah.
they told me, like, look, you know, we supposed to be a brotherhood, but you got those individuals that can't leave the hood or they can't shake the mentality of where they come from. So find them out, seek them out, and avoid them. I always been told that.
but
And
you already
again,
had that street presence in you. You
True.
had somebody that's green as a bitch, and they coming
true,
through.
but I just
Like,
said it's also the people that's in the institution that told me that. They preach that in boot camp. You got your 10%. And I've heard that still to this day, so you can't say that they're not preaching that because I still hear it.
See, it's different from a female point of view. It's very different.
So
We
now-
don't get what
that's a whole different, that's a whole
Yeah,
podcast.
It is. But we
I
don't,
can't
we don't
speak
get
on that.
Yeah.
We
Because
don't get that.
I speak to my Marines as a whole. I don't separate them from male, female.
Yeah.
So when I tell them, hey, protect yourself, I treat, honestly, it's kind of fucked up way to look at it, but any of my junior Marines, I treat them as my kids. And I look at it like that because if I care about them as my kid or the same way that I care for my kid, I know that I'm giving them my all, my most important interest or my trust. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving them everything that I got because I know at one point in time, my son's going to grow up. And everything that I'm giving him or everything he knows or learning as he grows up is coming from me. So if I don't teach him something, if he don't know something, I got to give it to him, right? So I tell you, stay away from this group, stay away from the gang, stay away from drugs, stay out of the streets. Same thing in the Marine Corps. I tell you, hey, look, y'all gonna see who in this platoon or who in this section to stay the fuck away from. Find yourself a good mentor. Seek this person out. Emulate this person. You know what I'm saying? Seek this person out for guidance, mentoring, stuff like that. Again, that's just me. I can't say for sure that everybody is in this because you may very well be in a situation where you have that 10% as your leader. I can't say that you do or you don't. But I'm saying, what I am saying is, from every step that I've been in, the Marine Corps has always told you, you have that 10%. And find that 10% and avoid that 10%. Again, I can't say who is that 10%. You may very well, it's highly unlikely, but you may very well be in a situation where you had that 10% as your leader and they just didn't give a fuck. You could be in that situation. I don't know. I can't speak on it because, again, I don't know where you came from throughout the Marine Corps. So I don't know where your career path went, who was your leadership, and nothing like that. But, again, that 10% has always been there from boot camp and on. You can see it. Fucking drill instructors getting kicked out.
Yeah.
And that's the ones that's supposed to be instilling and instructing.
Yeah, ideal.
The boot camp, the recruiters getting kicked out. They the ones signing you up. The drill instructors getting kicked out. Commanders, COs getting kicked out.
Yeah, goddamn.
So you see the 10%.
Generals.
You know what I mean?
Getting relieved.
It's just, again, like what we were talking about earlier, this is what we choose to pay attention to.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I told you before we started, like, I'm gonna go at you, but I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I mean? I'm not attacking you personally.
No, I'm
it's
listening,
just the logic, you know what I mean? So again, you got that 10%. The Marine Corps has always had that 10%. We always gonna have it. But the only thing we could do is try to get that 10% in a corral and either get them out or get them to conform to the Marine Corps standard. You know what I mean? And you got some people that just won't conform.
So that shit was deep as fuck. Yeah. I learned a lot. So I'll be fucking with Ford for real. So all right.
He like,
I disagree completely
Why though?
because he's saying that they tell you that it's a 10%, but I agree with him that 10% sometimes is in like your command, but sometimes you get a mixed diagnosis of who the 10% is because. Yeah, I'm straight from the hood. I'm from Albany. Like this is where I'm from.
Yeah, you from the hood?
I got that in me, but
and it's worse because you came back down here.
It's worse because I've been around like the same old, neighborhoods, gang members, people who knew me from back in the day that I don't know no more.
Yeah.
But I still, it's the simple fact that I have like a aura around me that lets you know that I'm from that. Regardless of how professional I am, I still get like that. Oh, he probably that 10%. Regardless of my actions or how I'm like doing, sometimes you just can't get that stigma off of you. And I've seen people like that, and I've like been around them, and they've been like the most stellar Marines, like looking out for their Marines, like being as selfless as possible and like trying to change that narrative, but it don't always work out, and they still get put out too. They still have like a arrow, like what is it called? A bullseye on their back.
So you think do you think you're targeted of being black or what?
Because I was getting ready to touch on that.
Touch light.
So what you was saying? Yeah, we're gonna keep it real brief.
Yeah.
So what you was saying is kind of what we talked about last podcast, right? You got African Americans that serve in the military. They go off, fight wars or whatever, come back home to their country, and they still get called niggas and they get treated less than, right?
Definitely.
That's military in general. I'm just black in the
world.
military. Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army, Coast Guard. Whole
Guard.
thing, right?
Shout out to my
So you got
Coasties.
African Americans that serve in the
Coastie.
military that come back and still get treated less than. There's no different than what you just described. You got an individual, leave color alone. You got an individual, you got a Marine in the Marine Corps who may have had a troubled upbringing, right? Separating himself, he's trying to separate himself from that upbringing or that stigma or that classification that people giving him. And no matter what that individual does, he still got to fight 10 times harder than the average person just because of they know where he's from and they know what his neighborhood represents. So they label him like, okay, he might be a troublemaker just because of his neighborhood and he's back in that neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah,
hell.
and that's why I kind of look funny when y'all brought up Albany being like a hood.
Albany is hood. Tell me it's not.
I don't
It's
feel
not
like
hood,
I don't feel
but
like
it's neglected.
hood.
It's
I feel
neglected.
like it's neglected.
You
It's
don't
not
feel
looked
like
at.
it's the hood. Why? Why don't you feel like it's the hood?
I've been to worse
Exactly,
parts.
because
seen
you've been
worse.
here, right?
Yeah.
You grew up here.
Yeah.
To you, it's normal. But to a motherfucker that's coming down here, and I'm looking at like my first year here, every month there was a murder. Every month.
Yeah.
So to
And
me,
you saying
to me, that's the hood. You know what the
I
first
was
thing I did when I got here? I went and got my concealed carry permit and a fucking gun. Name another neighborhood you go do that in.
Well, name another duty station area if we compare it to
Portsmouth,
duty station.
Virginia. Why you bullshit?
See what I'm saying? Exactly. So
And
when I say,
like we said earlier,
yeah, that's the
I said
hood. So to
VA.
some people, you grew up in that. So to you, you know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
normalized.
that
You're
shit ain't-
numb.
I don't even feel like it's normalized. It's just the fact that like I've been through worse. I've seen worse. So like
Okay,
when I
but
come
that's-
back
But
here,
it's in
like,
this area though,
okay,
right?
This is like calm. Like this is really kind of calm.
Yeah, but
Oh,
a
so-
motherfucker dying
So
every month
six
ain't
murders was
calm.
good, but one murder was like, all right, we good, we good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you
When
saying.
you
in
coming
the
from
sense.
like 12 people getting clipped at one time, and then it's like, oh, they did a drive-by and
But
only
that's
one person
hood
got
shit.
hit.
That's what I'm saying. It's hood down here.
The fact
To
that
you,
even happened.
to you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You like, I seen worse. That ain't shit. But that's still hood.
Man, I'm from Baltimore. Like, yo, we
Yeah.
get number one every year.
The motherfucker was happy they went 10 days without a murder. Like,
Yeah,
what?
and I'm
Albany ain't shit. I agree, but you can't say that it's not hood because if you look at it, you come through this, man, you like,
Wow.
man.
It ain't hood. It's wild.
this shit about to
This
go
is
too
wild.
long.
Okay. I know. I told you.
It's
You
about
try to
to
put a
be
time limit on it, but
Yeah,
when we get
damn.
to rapping, shit get to rolling.
So, just want to get back to Ari or whatnot. Is like, okay, you getting out.
Yes. Yes. It's crazy.
Forced by your own decision. Would you like to stay in? What? Let's dig deep into that story
All right, to be real and to cut it
because we
short.
know you ran college track.
Mm-hmm. So like overall, because of what I invested into my shop, I wouldn't say the Marine Corps as a whole, but the individuals who I work with, I want them to, get the best of me.
Okay.
So because of that, I would love to stay in, but because I could not meet a runtime, not that I couldn't finish, but I couldn't meet the designated time that you set for me in my age group.
The physical standards.
Right. So now I am being kicked out, which is understandable because the Marine Corps made it very clear from the beginning. This is what we have to abide by. If you can't make this at the minimum to be a Marine, it just ain't going to work. But it kind of sucks because I do like the way that Marines go about things, and I had good leadership. So I got a great example of what it can be and what it shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So you had that experience.
yeah, so I like that. And as a honestly, this gives me like another look to the white collar world. So
Oh, like that.
yeah, definitely, because you got Mattis, you got the president of the United States, the man making decisions, and right now we sitting with Trump. But
She said,
but nah, for real though, like it gave me a good insight to how they think and how they move about things, and just with the way they sit back and analyze things. And I like that. I like that you're not gonna get that anywhere else but the military. So when I go out into the civilian world, I feel like it's going to be good. It's going to set me aside from my peers, but also the civilians don't have that discipline as to recognize leadership as for what it is versus wanting to get the upper hand on that person, or not really taking what you have and taking it as this is good that we have this versus it being you're doing too much because you're making us look bad. So
Yeah.
that's one of those things that I look at and I'm just kind of like, well, when I go out, I'm not going to be able, not that I'm not going to be able to make it, but it's going to be very difficult. And also being a black female, I'm gonna say tomboyish female.
Okay. Is that another word for gay?
Realistically, we could put it like that, but I still have my feminine ways. So,
Bye.
no, not confused. Not
Okay,
confused.
hey.
Sorry for the
I ain't mean to laugh that hard, but
no,
I
no,
mean,
no, no. You
yeah.
just being real. You being real.
Yeah.
We can put that out there if we being real. Yes.
So you like the puss.
Straight water. Water is wet.
That water.
No, but if we being real though, like to set that aside from what I do as a Marine, I don't even deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that has
understandable.
shit to do with what I do on a basis and what I provide for my Marines and what I do to make sure that our section is flowing and that we come down and we get looked at by headquarters in the Marine organization as a whole. We're flowing. We're good. We're scoring above that percentage of the Marine Corps as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So overall, that's the part that sucks.
So my question to you is, it's like,
That's my Instagram. My bad. I was looking at
my
Black
question to
Rambo.
you is, for people that's been following the story.
See, my shit is off right now.
Again. So my question to you, for the people that's been following this podcast, people be like, well, she went to school for track.
They look at it like, damn, she passed that up. Yeah, I did.
Well, yeah, you passed it up, but
I
it's
did.
like, okay, you ran track because you have dumbfounded people, and then you have regular military personnel as well. They're like, well, she ran track in college, and she got a full scholarship. Why can't she run in the military?
I was a sprinter, baby.
It's completely different standards.
I was a sprinter. I was a hurdler at that. I was quick as a mop.
We ran together, so like me and her, we ran together. You can tell the difference between somebody who runs distance events and sprint events. I ran the 400 and the 800 and the 4x4 relays. So like my distance running is a lot better, and I'm a lot stronger at running a 3 mile than her, and you can see it. It's based off of the training that you receive.
And what you're accustomed to, because after a while I did that for years, so that's a muscle memory off rip. Like I'm point blank period. I'm not gonna be able to do that 3 miles. Like I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm not gonna say never, because I did it in boot camp, because that's where I am.
To say you had a foundation of doing it in a sense. So.
Right.
The initial, was it ISB? Is that what they call it? IST. Yeah.
But in a way, I kind of go back to the Air Force mindset. They like, this is what we need in order to pass. I met this standard. I am done. I am still continuing on. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to. It's the Marine Corps who builds that in. Like, you know, you need to go that extra mile. You need to do this. You need to do that, which is good from a business standpoint. But overall, if these are the standards, I met that. So I'm done.
But yeah, you met it at one point in time. But like the military, you got to meet it every year.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, you met it at one point in time, but you didn't meet it again and again and again.
Right.
So where's their gain from that? You know what I'm saying?
But that doesn't really define me as a Marine as a whole. Okay,
But that's the whole Marine concept.
I get what you're saying, where you say it doesn't define you as a Marine as a whole. That's only one aspect of you, but the aspect that, you know, then determines the type of Marine you are and how the Marine Corps looks at it.
Right.
That's a big asset, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, again, they take MOS credibility in regards to promotion and stuff like that. They take MOS credibility, PFT, CFT, rifle, pros and cons for the Junior Marines. They take all that into consideration.
McMahon, swim call.
So
that don't
that's
define who you are, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just pointing it out for those that may not know. Like, that's just one aspect. PFT, CFT is one aspect, but when they talk about how well or how proficient you are at your job, people don't put as much emphasis on that as they do PFT, rifle, CFT. You know what I mean?
That's because they don't have nowhere to put it on paper. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, until you start writing finish reports, you'll see. Like, they don't give a fuck about.
Oh, hell, I ain't making it that far.
Damn.
So
nah, for real.
that's what I'm saying. So to that point, yes, it doesn't define who you are as a Marine, but when that portion of it is, like he said, the Marine concept, that's why people get a picture like, damn, she a Marine and she can't pass a PFT.
But it's a facade. It's an unrealistic facade. Let's be real.
Yeah, unrealistic.
It's unrealistic because
Go ahead, explain to me.
there's other branches where service members can still perform their duties, and then they're put on, you know, certain kind of like watch standards. but they're on it for a certain amount of time, longer than Marines are, because Marines are
better than other services.
no, we work harder and not smarter. Let's be real. We work
True.
harder and not smarter.
Hell yeah. I
We
know
the
that.
grunts. We the grunts of military branches.
Right, which is not bad because of the mission that we are supposed to be able to accomplish at any time.
Deploying 24 hours.
Right.
Certain units, not all of us.
Right.
Well,
But because I
in
can't
essence,
run 3 miles doesn't mean if this person is down, that don't mean I can't drag their ass 50 meters, 100 meters, 20 meters to safety and still get the mission complete. That does not define me. And they put too much emphasis on it. Like right now, I'm in the process of separating, and they don't even have a code for shit like this. So when I go and try to serve my country in another branch, they're going to be looking like, well, what the fuck do this mean? Because in our branch, this is what we have defined, and y'all don't have shit. You know what I'm saying? So then it kind of gives a false representation of what I have done. And it doesn't
they
speak
can define
loud.
it as failure to adapt. I don't know what the RE code or the reenlistment code
It's
is.
like 3 Charlie.
Yeah, I
3
don't know.
Charlie.
Yeah,
So
I
it
never-
says
I never
approved
heard.
by Commandant of Marine Corps or failure or ineligible, but there's no reenlistment code authorized for this single disqualifying factor.
RE3 Charlie.
Yes.
That's
right.
what they. So you can admiration set.
Yes.
Separate. Admin separation.
It's probably gonna be like failure to adapt or some shit like that.
But they don't even have that as an option. And I work in that area. I work separation. I mean, I've been like fucking looking at this shit like what's gonna apply to me. You know what I'm saying? You look more in depth when you can relate to it.
Yeah.
So they don't
But
even
again,
have
it goes back to nobody gives a fuck about your career more than you.
Right, and that's where I go back to where we have to fight for protect what we earn
Yeah.
within our own organization when they should already have that shit laid out. But the Marine Corps, they don't. I don't know what it is, but they don't update their standards. Like the shit don't make sense. Everything
Shit
is
is up to
contradicting.
date
It's like the
now.
damn Bible. Like it's contradicting. It really is. So, point blank, period. Like it doesn't reflect who I am as a Marine. It doesn't do enough. It doesn't serve enough justice. Yes, I'm getting out because of the failure of
Hey,
the
what fuck
run,
this
but
word
that's all they're
mean?
going to see when they look on paper. You feel me?
Contingency Objector.
What is that?
Where you at?
RE3 Charlie.
Online, they ain't gonna tell you what it say, but I can tell you what it
say
say.
contingency
Define.
objector.
That's Navy.
Conscientious.
I said contingency.
That's the Navy.
Oh, that's the Navy.
RE3
That,
Charlie?
yep, that's the Navy.
Nah,
That's what
both
it.
of them, USMC and not his name. RE was that RE3 Charles and then 3 Charlie.
And then the Coast Guard.
Damn.
But it don't. That's not what we define it as in our branch, because I'm literally looking at what it means when we put it on that form.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna have to convert it to what it means in their systems. So when I go to reenlist and try to serve my country again, I'm be like, well, I've been separated because of the PFT. It wasn't a characterization. It wasn't any legal action. I didn't do anything outside of time. I simply couldn't run 3 miles under 30 minutes.
So, of course, when it comes to a leadership standpoint, so it was like maybe your peers or your leadership were they out there trying to
They were.
help you?
They definitely were. My leadership went above and beyond.
Is it a mental thing for you, or is it just like? Because the human body is amazing at the end of the day, you know.
It is.
So yeah, you got people running fucking triathlons out this bitch.
Once I realized I could be successful without running 3 miles, I felt like it wasn't a necessity.
When was that?
Forever ago.
So you kind of already knew, like.
But
yeah.
I was motivated in the beginning. I never thought I was gonna fall short of glory. You know, I thought I was gonna be like, I'm motivated. I'll be able to make this. But now that I'm really in it, and I really have to. Literally, I could have stayed an athlete for this because that's what it is. Once I identified that I didn't want to be a collegiate athlete. Once you go into the military as a Marine or as a soldier in the Army, you are an athlete
Navy.
again.
Or the Air Force.
Not so much the name.
Oh,
The Air Force, damn sure. I know you lying.
I was just shouting
No.
out all branch. Shout out to the Air Force. This is their birthday today.
Definitely.
Is
Let
it?
me in.
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
in.
71st birthday.
Okay.
Shout out to them babies.
Yeah, 71st birthday. And the crazy part is they booming more than the Marine Corps.
Yeah. They're a
Depend-
well-oiled
wonder
machine.
Depending on how you looking at it.
Money,
and
shit.
yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
airside always get more money. Even in
just-
the Marine Corps, the airside got more money than
Yeah,
ground
but I'm
side.
just saying, as an organization, as long as we've been,
Mhm.
as long as we've been around, you telling me that as many fights that we proven and things that we done as an organization, we can never break off and be our own entity? Why not?
Because the Marine Corps is a needed organization.
Okay, if it's needed, then you make it a branch of service that stands alone on its own.
It's
when
cheaper.
it's not needed, then
Okay, if it's not needed, then you could disband it like we were disbanded a long time ago.
Right,
Yeah,
but they
then
keep that
it's needed
leeway.
again.
Okay, when it's needed, because overall the Marine Corps is air, water, and ground.
But you're expeditionary force, so you're supposed to go in, do what we need you to do.
But we don't
Take
have
over.
big ships, so
Yeah,
the
we not
sea
the Navy.
part.
But I feel as though it comes to a point to like when you proving what you need to do, then that's when America be like, okay, yeah, we need you. Here's all the money in the
That's a
world.
fact. Like,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Why it took us, we still didn't break off to do what we need to do.
politics as usual.
Yeah, but okay, I don't want to get into that. We back to you, all right.
I was about to say, cause not only that, low key, we like Chick-fil-A. We don't take more than what we need. Like them parking lots be small at Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah.
So like the Marine Corps is like, we don't take no more than what we need. So that's how they keep that budget small. That's why we're the Department of the Navy. That's how I look at it.
We'll keep the budget small because we get money that we didn't get from the Navy.
Right, but at the same time, we don't take more than what we need. So we don't overuse none of that shit. We
But
can do
barely get
without
anything.
without that luxurious shit.
Yeah, but let's go back to your shit.
Yeah.
Collegiate athlete.
Mhm.
So you choose the military, the Marine Corps aspect versus
I was trying to go into the Air Force, but that's another story.
going rather than going to the athlete capabilities or whatnot. So you join. Well, you're not a strong runner from the beginning.
I'm strong, but I don't do distance.
You don't do
Let's
distance.
clarify that.
To clarify, right?
Yeah.
Come in. You do your thing. You kind of realize, okay, this ain't for me. Well, not ain't for me. I just can't do the run portion.
Right.
Leadership went above and beyond trying to help you out. But mentally, you kind of already exited out of that. Like, you just, like, mentally threw that away. Like, yo, I can't run. Is that safe to say?
See, I don't want to commit to that answer because I just feel like if we were a command that or not just a command.
organization.
I'm not gonna say command, an organization. Yes, if we were an organization that necessarily stressed hey, this is what it is. We're gonna do this, and you are going to get up beforehand. You let me know Monday through motherfucking Friday. We got PT at 06. You will be on green, or you will be in boots and utes. I would never signed up.
Wow.
I was doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I was doing the damn thing. So once I got that rest, I'm like, okay, cool, I can do this. I'm motivated. I got it. I got this. But what fucked me up really? And you said it's mental. It fucked me up when they played with me and my clearance and get me off, and it took me off of where I needed to be in order to excel. I'm not gonna lie, I never recovered. Never recovered. So once I got here, I was kind of, I could say lackadaisical.
Was this your first duty station?
Yes, it was. It was. And from there, it just kind of went up. I did what I needed to do, but this was the only disqualifying factor, which was that run portion. And I was strong. I feel like that's why they kept me. And they love females who can do some bionic shit. I was doing pretty ass pull-ups and so
pretty
forth.
ass pull-up.
Yeah, realistically, it won't no bucking, it won't none of that kipping stuff. It was legit strength, pretty ass
Dead
pull-ups.
hang.
Yeah.
DI.
Right,
German
and
structure.
Marine Corps like the showboat. They like it's just like a household. This is what it looked like. This is what it really is. It looked good on the outside, but we got our kinks and our, what I'm saying, going on the inside. But when people looking in from the outside, we look good. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Damn. There's so many directions I could go in this.
Yeah.
You want to lead this one forward?
Me lead?
Yeah.
What I'm leading?
A question.
This your podcast. I'm just here
You
to
can
fill
ask
it
a
in.
question.
Well, I mean, if you open up the floor, I got a question for you, or
Okay.
both of y'all.
Go ahead.
Would y'all direct anyone who's going into the military? Would you prefer, or would you direct them to the Marine Corps as a whole, or would you say, you know what, this is too much on your body, X, Y, and Z? You can do the same thing, if not less. Not saying that's a good thing, but if not less, retire in 20 years and still get the same benefits, if not make more money throughout the years.
You want me to go or you want to go?
You can go first because I'm gonna take a while.
For me personally, with my little years of experience and just like kind of under, understanding people as a whole, you know, I kind of mentor people in a sense as well. I would say if it's for you, if I could kind of give a sense, if it's for you, I'm not saying the whole end all be all,
Right.
but if I have in a sense it's for you, mind you. Statistically, males versus females in the Marine Corps and generally, females don't last as long as males. That's just it is what it is.
Physically, mentally, what do you mean?
Overall, like mind you, realistically, maybe once women hit their B billet stage, their phase, drill instructor, recruiter, MSG, they all get out after that. That's like statistically given, like point blank period, statistically given. But to answer your question, I would say probably once. It's for me, it's a sense. So it's like normally sometimes I could sense hey, you should go drill instructor or check it out. How about that? Check it out. Or hey, I think you're a good fit for recruiter.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know if I answered it fully, but it's.
To his point,
Yeah.
Yes, I would sell a Marine Corps to somebody, but again, it applies specifically to a set.
It's also what you're looking in
a
life.
set of skills or person, you know what I'm saying, like a certain type of person. Point blank period, can't everybody be a Marine?
That's
like, we're going to keep that a buck.
Yeah.
And I kind of see where this is going, but it goes back to, you know, who the recruiters are recruiting and who they're pulling in. Because recruiters know who's going to realistically make. You can look at a person, how they grow up, like how they walk, talk, carry themselves. Like, he ain't gonna make it. You can see that in the individual based on like just from your experience in being in and what it takes to make it 4 or 5 years. You can look at a kid coming out of high school and be like, he has what it takes. Can he make it? Can he last? Will it work for him? I don't know. Or you can look at a kid and be like, look, he ain't even gonna make it. I'm gonna just go ahead and keep it a buck. But when recruiters gotta hit numbers, you like,
they taking anybody.
Exactly. They looking at it like, oh, I don't know if he'll make it, but
shit, you ready? No tabs.
Let me slide. Exactly. So you take what you can get as a recruiter. But me being in, I would sell it to a person like Chris said. Though it goes back. Well, troubles.
There we go.
It goes back to that individual. Like, okay, what are you looking for when you're joining the Marine Corps? You know what I'm saying? Specifically the Marine Corps. What are you trying to gain? What's your point in joining?
Clout.
But that goes to, like I said, that's not from a recruiter standpoint. That's just from me trying to talk to somebody that's coming to approach me like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about joining the military. I see you a Marine. I want to join. What is it about? What is it like? That's what that goes to. But as a recruiter trying to make mission, hey, like you said, are you a drug waiver? You got a high school diploma? Can you run? Can you jump? Hey, I'm going to take you. We can find you somewhere to go in the Marine. You be a cook, but we can get you in here.
I ain't know we still had them shit.
So that's what I'm saying. So like,
you been in Albany too long.
Huh?
She been in Albany too long.
And that's what. It's a different podcast because coming here, I tell you right now, I don't recommend anybody to come here. They first duty station.
I love it.
Hell no.
Cause you at home. This place suck.
You drive like 15 minutes from South Albany.
Let's be real.
This shit suck.
Being in somewhere as Virginia, we got DMV area, we got New York 6 hours, we got the Carolinas, we got fucking West Ohio, Philly, Michigan, all that. We in the central area to be like, cool. I mean, it may not should be shit here.
Yeah, but you got family here. You got people that you grew up. You can go kick it. Like, you good.
Yep.
You see how I'm living? I'm sitting in this zone like
solo dodo like 6 days a week.
You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, I want to go to Virginia this week. It's a 10-hour drive. I'm like,
I'm willing to make it though.
Nah, I'm gonna just sit right here and watch TV for the weekend. But you know what I mean? But that's your surroundings. You comfortable with that? You good? Like, you know the vibe. You know the people here. You can move here and you good because you know the area. You know the people. But for me, and I've been in different duty stations. I'm like, man, I don't recommend anybody come in for their first duty station. Not no junior Marine.
Let me ask you this. What was it that got you about Albany?
That what you mean? Like, turn me off?
Yeah.
I told you why.
The people and all that.
First thing, no. Don't get it twisted. I love the people down here.
Yeah.
I'm from the. When you say it's the South, some people say it's not. I'm from the South.
Okay.
I love that vibe. I love these country motherfuckers that every time you go somewhere, hey sweetie, how you doing?
Yeah.
I love that because that's what I'm used to. I go home, people like greet me all the time, saying hi, what's up. I love the country, the country lifestyle, the vibe. I love that. But when you've been in the military 10 plus years and you hit East Coast, West Coast, you've been overseas, and then you get sent here, I'm just like, damn, this. And you see everybody here that's senior talking about retiring. The people that you work with retired. I don't want to be here with these motherfuckers. They all Debbie Downers, and I'm like, you, I'm motivated. I'm trying to do some other shit, and they just sitting here like, oh, I'm retiring in a couple months. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't want to be around that. So imagine Lance Corporal that's been in a hot 2 years. You know what I mean? They don't want to be around that shit. And then, like you said, you ain't got no real nightlife or entertainment.
Ooh, no
you got to
nightlife.
drive to Atlanta. You got to drive to Tallahassee.
Ooh, Atlanta
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you think about the money aspect of it. If I got to drive to Atlanta, I got to get a hotel room. Or I got to spend money on this, and this. Whereas if I'm in Pendleton and I'm going out for the weekend, I'm just like, I can go crash on the beach somewhere. I can go kick it here, and I'm good. That's just what I said for a Junior Marine. You come down here, you got all these retirees that's here. They kind of got this negative attitude. And like, but you go to other duty stations, you're like, shit, okay, you got a lot of more Marines, one, in general, to just even kick it with. But here, we got, what, 300 Marines? 400 Marines, maybe?
If that.
And then, like, again, most of that senior. So even,
reservists,
even
like
exactly,
playing.
even the Junior Marines can't even kick it with that. So now you realistically, you got what, 200 Marines you really can kick it with.
Less than that, probably about.
But
like 60.
exactly, once you go through the whole vetting process, you maybe got 25 Marines you can realistically kick it with.
Yeah.
And then when you think about who's staying in town for the weekend, who's on TAD or other stuff like that, you got maybe 3 or 4 people that you can really kick it with every weekend. And you here for 3 years, you're like, man, I don't want to hang with y'all motherfuckers every weekend for 3 years. That's why I say for me, for a Junior Marine to come here first duty station, I can see why people just like, nah, I ain't fuck Albany, man. That's just my opinion. But like I said, you from here, you at home, you got a different feel, you got a different vibe. I can't knock it, but me coming here and I'm like, all right, first thing I do, I check the local news, see what's going on. Like, I'm saying, okay, we'll see what part of towns. When my safety brief is motherfuckers telling me, don't get a house in this part of town, don't go to this club, don't go to here. I'm like, yo, like
5.0.
most places I go to, they check in like, yo, you gotta check out this, you gotta check out this. My safety brief or my check-in is like, hey,
Don't go here, don't go there.
Yeah, don't get on this part of town. We just had somebody break into a service member's house. I'm like, damn, where the fuck can I get an apartment at? Like, then I'm like, okay, well, you know, what's the nightlife like? Well, we got these 2 clubs on the blacklist. You can't go there.
Okay. Those the popping clubs though. Like,
And
They
they the
all
only black
need
clubs.
You know what I'm saying? So exactly. So now I'm like, okay, well, I can't stay on this side of town. I can't go to this club. I can't go to this club. Damn, so what I got left? Atlanta?
That's right. That's
Tallahassee?
3 hours.
Pensacola?
Yep.
And I'm like, now I got to get a hotel. I ain't driving back. I ain't going up there club and then drive back.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just like, for me, I'm like, shit, the only thing I can do is either go to school or sit here and try to figure out some hustle moves. Like, I got to invest some or do some.
And try not to invest in drugs.
Hey, chill out.
I'm too far in my career to even think about that.
Nah,
so,
but that's just being real.
hey,
Just
no.
Nah, that's real.
Trust me,
That's a thing.
I know.
It's a real life
I
struggle.
know. That's why I said me. I'm too far in my career to even think about shit like that. I'm not risking. And again, this is just me. 13 weeks in boot camp. That 1 month at MCT. That I was in school for goddamn 8 months.
Yeah.
So I'm not risking all that. I'm like, man, I done had structure all this time.
Man, you
First
gotta
year
you
I
gotta
come in the joint. I'm in Cherry Point, North Carolina. Never even heard of it. I'm down there looking at it. I'm like,
you did say you scored high, like on your
yeah,
your
as the
ASVAB.
up, yeah.
A lot of a lot of us didn't score.
Yeah,
Like,
I get
it's not
that.
that same intellect when it come down to staying out of trouble.
Yeah, no, that ain't me.
but computer
That
tests
ain't
ain't got
us,
shit to
but-
do with staying out of trouble.
Yeah, sure. I
Some
agree.
people just can't think their way out of a situation that ain't even as bad as they make it sometimes.
And
It's
again,
bad.
that's why I say you don't think Albany hood, but this shit hood. You grew up in here, like you came up from Albany. So what to you may not seem like a big deal, or may not seem like it's as bad as I'm saying it is, or I feel like it is. It may not be to you, and I can get that. But at the end of the day, you still went through that 13 weeks. So you had somebody screaming at you, telling you that you can't even piss when you want to. And that's a normal function. And you wake up like, shit, I gotta go piss. But you got a motherfucker screaming at you like, hey, did I tell you to go piss? Did I tell you could brush your teeth right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna brush your waves. You can't even get waves in boot camp.
Shit, I had them.
You know what
I
I
had
mean?
them.
Like-
Hell in boot
Shit,
camp.
I brushed my hair with the boot brush because we wasn't using it, so I was like, man.
But see what I'm saying? Like, and that's what it
Yeah.
goes back to. Like, so I get what you're saying that you know some people can't shake that mentality, and I alluded to that earlier. You got your 10%. You got some people that just can't shake that mentality, and I'm not knocking them. But I already said it. The military in general ain't for everybody. Then let alone the Marine Corps ain't for everybody. But at the end of the day, when you know that it's a game and it's a system, play the game to your liking because nobody
Yep.
gives a fuck about your career more
Very
than you.
true.
So if
Very
you
true.
know you got an end state, it's like a dope game. Everybody know the end state in the dope game. Dead, jail. One of the two, because not many people make it out. You hustle, you get your bread, catch a case, you know what I'm saying? You do whatever, pay your lawyer, beat that case. And then what you gonna do? You either come out and go back into the game, or you move the fuck on. It's hard for some people to move the fuck on, so what they do? They get back in the game. So I can relate to them. Trust me, I grew up in this shit. Don't think just because I got a good ASVAB score that I'm not what I say I am.
Hey,
I'm
whoa,
not
whoa.
glorifying, you know what I'm saying, the life that I used to be. But at the same time, don't try to discredit it because I got an ASVAB score that was a little bit up here.
I would never discredit anybody for their ass foul score because mine ain't low at all. Period.
So, like I said, I lived this shit. Like to the day I left, I lived this shit. You know what I mean? It's in my record. Like you look at my shit, I got a drug waiver. It's in there.
Yeah, I do too. You know.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, and then when I get out, marijuana the thing right now. So what you think I'm finna do?
Invest.
Investing in marijuana. But I know right now I can't do that. Why? Because the Marine Corps prohibits it. They forbid it. So I got to do what I got to do right now. Just invest in a little stock market. Okay, keep my eye on this marijuana stock. Let me feed it here. But when I get out, I ain't got no more ties to the government. I'm going to do my thing.
Are you a lifer though?
Am I? What?
So what you got, like 9 years left?
I got 6 of them things. left.
6? Okay.
I got 6 years left.
I got 14 that I ain't gonna make.
I remember that.
It's all right here. You can make it.
I can't personally.
You can.
I'm not allowed to at this point.
Oh, okay. That's
got it.
different then. Yeah.
So my question to you, Ari, you know, we had Ford doing his tantrum.
I told you, man. Y'all gotta cut.
How
me
long we
off,
been going
man.
for, man?
128. I got like 6 more questions.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
All right, I'm gonna cut it short. I'm gonna cut it short.
Don't ask me no more questions.
Don't cut them short. This is just focused on her.
Yeah, don't ask me. no more.
So what are your, since you are kind of getting, well, it ain't kind of.
It is what's happening.
Yeah, you is getting fucking admin sack, quote unquote, getting kicked out the Marine Corps. What is your backup?
Well, right now I'm trying to have my characterization honorable because overall, as a Marine, I did my thing.
You did your time honorably.
Right, a single disqualified factor that should not reflect of who I was as a Marine characterization because I didn't get in trouble in town or anything like that
Nigga, you
within the
wasn't caught.
organization.
Nigga, you wasn't caught.
There's an active investigation, so we gonna keep that light.
No,
we gonna breeze by that. Don't put
can you
nothing
pull it
out
up on
there.
paper?
That, you know, yeah.
No. Can you pull it up on paper? No, sir, you cannot.
Okay.
You gotta have.
No, but being real though, I didn't get out. I didn't get in trouble out in town. I didn't get in trouble within the organization as a whole. I respected, my superiors, and I respected my Marines equal and under me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I did my job to the T. So overall, I would love to serve again because the 20 years is looking good. If that does not happen,
So you want to go to another branch?
yes, yes.
Anything in mind?
Air Force, that would be good. The Army, honestly, whoever take me the quickest at this point.
Have you been talking to recruiters?
Yes, but at the same time, being that I have, nothing is set in stone until they get that DD-214 in hand. They can
Finesse you.
boom,
And,
boom. Once I'm sitting there, boom. And I like the fact that I work admin so that I kind of know what goes on behind the scenes. I got 2 Marines right now that are separating who are both trying to go into the Army. And I like that. I like that because it gives me that hindsight. And I thank God for that.
That cushion. So, okay.
Definitely.
You being a sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
Marine Corps wasn't cut with you as far as physical fitness standards. We all know, for even my civilian people that listen, hey, the military, we do have physical fitness standards.
Yes, we do.
Now, other branches of service, they do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all know the Marine Corps have the highest.
Yes.
Every other branch, I think, is Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force, maybe?
Probably.
Don't forget about
right.
the Coast Guard, though.
Yeah,
Coast Guard ain't got no.
They
type
still
of
exist,
standards.
though, man.
Yeah, but they ain't got no
Okay.
standards. Like,
But they still retired 20 years like we
no,
do.
no,
They get the
no. He's
same
talking about as
benefits.
far as standards go.
yeah,
Okay,
physical
okay.
standards.
Okay, you're right.
Okay, yeah, they have 2 miles, have a mile and a half. Are you able to withstand that?
Yes, I am.
The 20 years.
Yes. 46 and all.
For
real.
Yeah, okay.
For real.
How do you know that though? Like,
At this point in my life, I know my capabilities. I know what I can and cannot do. I kind of went in. I'm not gonna say I went in completely green, but I went in with the mindset that deteriorated over time.
and
So-
what aspect? Maybe I'm confused.
Just as far as focus and motivation
Within the military.
as a whole. As
So
a whole.
so is that?
So I weigh out more things. I weigh things. Certain things weighed more in my mind than it did as in the Marine Corps. So
So if
after learning the system, I know that, boom, there you go. Certain things, you gotta look good on paper, baby. You gotta look good on paper.
So
Point
for
blank.
an
Period.
organization, you basically you just said your mind wasn't all the way there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a corporation, organization overall, for me to accept you, if your mind wasn't all the way there for one branch of service, I know it doesn't work like this, but
Physically, it wasn't there.
if I'm a boss, how do I know your mindset ain't gonna work for me?
Are we speaking military or civilian? Because I'm thinking military.
We're talking military.
Overall, so what you do is you assess the problem that I had with the previous branch, right?
Yeah.
Then you make sure it doesn't apply to your organization standards.
Okay.
And then also, I cover my ass. I will have letters of recommendation.
Letters of recommendation.
Yes, I will.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
drop
but
them jewels,
yeah,
baby.
have letters of recommendation. So I'm playing devil's advocate
I know,
at this
I know.
point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, letters of recommendation, but it still doesn't define the fact of you can't run.
Right.
So if
I can, but I don't run
You,
far.
you can't run far. So okay, 3 miles. So if
Within the allotted amount of time that the Marine Corps allows me
Yeah.
to do it. I don't
So-
stop.
so I need you to have maybe to save your ass later on, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had 1 hour and 33 minutes on this podcast. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could say if you go to another organization, if you run a 2 miles, that you can run a 2 miles within the standard amount of time and still have time left over.
Could do it.
You could do it.
Could do it.
Yeah. Because
Without a doubt in my mind, could do it.
because the corporation organizations like, oh, they ain't trying to hear, because at first you going to get that limelight because you was a Marine. Point
Okay.
blank, period. It ain't no if and about be it. But it's not like, okay, she couldn't pass on the Marine Corps standard, but when it comes to our standards, which is lower,
Right?
she only giving us about a minute, 2-minute gap. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
but
it's like,
in a way, that's still over exceeding when you're talking about running in time. That's
running
still
in time.
excelling if you being real. Because you're talking to somebody who run now. Let's be real. So if you want to give me that 1 minute to 2 minute time gap, that's excelling. That's beyond what they're asking for. Just being real. But being that I had to run 3 miles, I just know that ain't my niche, man. That's just not my niche. I can fight for a damn 2, but a 3, what?
a bitch need to breathe.
Yeah, no, this is being real. But there's been other female Marines, and I will say black female Marines, that
She just looked at the mic.
I ain't gonna say it, but we don't do distance. Black people don't do distance like that. You have to be trained. I would say you have to be committed and trained to do distance. Period. If that's not this, I'm stocky. I'm short, stocky, and strong. Let's be real.
Big Depot.
You know what I'm saying? And right now, this is the smallest I've ever been.
Oh, really?
This is the smallest I've ever been. Like, bro, come on, let me show you real quick. This is my motivation.
Motor, goddamn, a lot of motivation.
Do I look anything like that?
Hell no.
No, this is the smallest I've ever been, and yet
I ain't come around my girl for real, straight off.
Well, I'm just being real. So I just rather go into an organization that will allow me to excel, and I can still contribute the same things, if not more, and
still
advance.
serve your country honorably.
Boom. There we go. And then that'll get me in the mindset. That could be something that I need. I don't know. I'm still growing.
You a great test taker?
Yeah, that's fine. Hell, if I know the question, if I know the answer, I know the answer. If I don't, well, hell, it's gonna be blank.
But at the end of the day, you'll study for it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Damn,
definitely.
That's dope. I mean, I don't know. It's just like, people always want to go to another organization.
No, I'm not looking for a shortcut. I don't want that to be.
It's not a shortcut at all. I'm not trying to say it's a shortcut, but like it's just other aspects that.
Right, it's what you value more.
Yeah.
If I value physical fitness way more than I value my education, then the Marine Corps is for me. But if I had a balance between the two, for me personally and my perspective of things, I would say Army, because they kind of balance it too. Yeah. Now, if I said education over everything, Air Force. If I said, I want to help my comrades, but at the same time, I want to have advancement, but you still need to be educated in your field and be able to train others and do other things, Navy. Coast Guard, that ain't me. That ain't me.
Yeah, I mean, that's dope.
Yeah.
All right, I need a question. You got any?
Man, I'm telling you, don't ask me nothing. We'll be in here all night.
I need a short question. Damn.
Oh, I ain't never had a... Nah, bro.
A question you gonna ask her and she only speak. How about that?
I get too deep.
Go ahead. Shoot.
I gotta think of something, man. That's what I'm saying.
Oh God.
I can't just throw out a random question, man. It's gotta have some substance to it.
I mean, just whatever.
I guess.
Okay.
I got something.
Go ahead.
Either one.
So for your time being in,
Yes.
like I said early in the podcast, the Marine Corps is always wondering why we have the highest turnover rate.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, okay, y'all don't ask the right people, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a whole, in a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, for your short time of being there, not to disrespect you
No.
at all, but from what you've seen, and maybe it may play a bigger part, it may not. What would you change about the Marine Corps as a whole? And don't give me an answer like, yo, we need to have extra 30 minutes for lunch, because I'm not trying to hear
no
that
bullshit
shit.
like that. Honestly, overall, what I would say we need to change in the Marine Corps as a whole is something that we need to change in society as a whole, and it's not going to happen because it's become a social norm.
This shit might be deep. Go ahead.
No, I'm just being real. It's become a social norm.
Go ahead.
And what I've noticed within the Marine Corps is that they're investing more in women. Have you picked that up?
Oh hell yeah.
And
women been booming. I
Right.
think we at the 100-year mark.
Right, that's what
for
they're
women
making
in
us
the
feel
Marine
like,
Corps.
right?
Shout out to all my women that been in the Marine Corps. Shout out to all my female sergeant majors. Y'all made it.
Sergeants, Major?
Oh, sergeants.
Go
Oh yeah, sergeants majors. Shout out to the first female African American general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing.
met her.
Just got that.
Oh, you met her?
Yeah, she was in Okie when I was out there.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
How was it? Realistically, how was it?
She ruthless.
Ruthless, yeah.
She was probably a colonel though at that point.
Yeah.
But when you met her off rip, did you like, I respect this woman?
Oh,
Was she
you
with
gonna
the
get that?
Was she with the homies though?
Yeah, she ruthless, dog.
Okay, because you know
I
sometimes.
can't say nothing bad about her.
Yeah, because sometimes when they
you
get
can
up,
tell she earned hers.
because when they
Like-
get up there, they kind of turn their cheek. And I said in a previous podcast before, I said, hey, shout outs to her. Just sometimes with the Marine Corps timing, and sometimes we kind of do shit just for clout.
Nah, she earned hers.
Yeah, so I said,
Look
okay.
like she.
Yeah, so I said, yo, shout out to her as a whole. Shout out to her. I respect her, all that. But I want to look at it two ways. I'm like, did the Marine Corps promote her just because of the movement, or did she really earn it?
Nah, she earned
At
hers.
that point, I didn't know anybody that knew her, knew anything she did. And my only question to her is, not to single her out, race and all that, did she bring anybody else up to replace her? I know it's a hard question to ask, and maybe I may be kind of biased.
I was gonna say it's not even a hard question to ask. It's just like,
Is it a biased question to ask? Like, did you?
I feel like it is, but it's
bring
not
somebody
a wrong
black
question.
under.
It's not a wrong question. You know what I mean?
Because our numbers are how we operate. That's how I see it.
But-
You don't see that many. She was the first one star female.
To that though, to
Yeah.
that. See, like,
Let's not
again,
forget that.
Black.
I'm deeper with it, so it could be a while.
Yeah.
But to that,
She paved the way.
right
Yeah,
now,
I salute that.
She stomped the way.
Yeah,
you said, did she bring anybody with her to replace her?
she don't have control of that shit.
I don't know. Honestly,
She
we
don't. But
Did she groom?
the right, exactly. Did she
Okay, that's
groom the
mentorship.
right one?
Yeah.
Because if you bring somebody, you might not necessarily bring the right person.
Got you.
So, because again, when you
My
think
bad
about
for wording.
no, you good. Again, when you think about females in general in the military, not a lot. You think about black females in the military.
In the Marine, I say Marine Corps.
yeah, in the Marine
Even
Corps,
fewer.
even smaller. And then you think about black female officers in the Marine Corps,
Ooh.
even smaller.
Yes.
So now in that population, you got to think, who does she associate with, and is that the right person to bring along?
Yeah.
So
think
I
you
get the
missed, like, a
question.
really important.
It's like what is it? Like Power, Tosh and Keisha. It makes sense though. You know what I'm saying?
I can relate to it.
Can you relate?
No
Are
comment.
y'all confused?
I'm
No
not
comment.
confused.
I am.
I just feel like one thing was missing. Like you saying, like grooming somebody, mentoring somebody, bring them up. Like those numbers that keep going down, those numbers go down a good number of more times. But the one that I was looking for was like the ones that are actually on their shit and doing what needs to be done too.
Yeah, the right one. Did she bring the right one with her?
Yeah, that's what he said. The
Yeah.
right one.
Because
Like,
you can bring anybody.
that's what I said.
Like
I
me
used
as a
the wrong
staff sergeant, I
word.
can bring anybody and get you promoted. I can tell you what you need to do.
Go
how
ahead,
to,
go to
yeah,
the
I can
school.
tell you, but for me, I'm not just bringing anybody. I need to see it in you. And like again, how we talked about meritorious promotions. I already told you, a meritorious Marine to me isn't somebody that I got to tell put a package together. A meritorious Marine to me, bringing me a package, knocking on my door like, hey, Staff Sergeant, when the next meritorious board?
Hear my shit.
When is this, and this? Here's my package. I'm ready.
What about the quotas though? They got to be met.
I don't agree with that. We talked about
But
that.
it happens.
I know, and I don't agree with it. But I can't change that. That's way above me. I
That
don't
is
agree with
true.
that because I told him every fucking board there comes out somebody come down to me, hey, Staff Sergeant, where's your Marine at for this? We ain't got nobody. We got quota. We ain't got nobody.
Okay.
I've been there. I fought this battle. I lost, but I fought it. Hey, look, we ain't got
And they
nobody.
Just pick anybody.
We ain't got nobody.
Hey,
we ain't
before-
got nobody.
before
We gonna
go-
turn the package in.
Before Ford go
I told
much
you.
deeper.
I told
Yeah, you gotta go deep. What was my question?
The question was, I don't even know.
Shit, I don't know either.
No, I don't know.
Shit.
Something about the new general, the black general, bringing forth.
Nah,
Well, no,
that was a rabbit hole in
that was
itself.
a
Okay,
rabbit hole
okay.
in itself, but it was like
Something about women, the generational transition to women, and
I think I
Yeah.
said, what would you change about the Marine
yeah,
Corps?
he asked her what would she change.
Okay.
And then you said,
Oh yeah, you right. You right. And I went forth and said I couldn't because of what it was. It was a social. It's been made a social norm as to what I would change as a Marine in the Marine
You really
Corps.
didn't answer the question
Yeah,
because he cut you
didn't.
off.
Yeah, my bad for cutting
No,
you
you
off.
good. You good.
So answer it.
Like I said though, I still really, honestly, I really still could not change it because what I would change has been made a social norm. Period. Like
is that?
we would have to change the organization or the way Americans think. Period, as a whole, in order to make that change. And what we need in order to make that change is males and females who make an effort to see everyone from how they view things. Period.
But are you your changes?
up.
Are you trying to include women or
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely want to include women.
Include women in MOSs. What are we talking
No,
about?
as a whole in decision making, more women in decision making, for
But-
sure.
So if I kind of back it up, like I said earlier, in a sense, I said it's been statistically proven that most women get out right around a B-billet time frame.
So get them before then, get them in that transition.
But do they have?
It's a two-part situation.
So
like
do they
that.
have a maturity mindset for that?
You have to ask them. I can't speak on something I'm not too knowledgeable.
I think it's just it goes back to the number of females in general that's in there. Like I said, you think about
Because around that age time frame, that's when they want to
So
have
26 to
babies
32.
and make families.
and I just said that plays a part in it, but I'm not even gonna go that route. It's just sheer numbers. If you just look at the sheer numbers of, again, we only got one female general.
African American.
Brigadier General.
You know what I mean?
Very
So
true.
She the only one.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know she was the first
Yes.
African American female. I don't know if she was the first
Yes.
female in general.
Within
In
the
general,
military.
but I know
Or
she
in
was
the
the
Marines.
first African.
Yeah, but
The
again,
Navy
you
had
just think
one.
about
No, she ain't the first.
just think about the numbers in general
Yeah.
to be in that
Imagine
position to
how
make,
many
you know what I mean,
sacrifices
decisions.
that
You know what I
was.
mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta think about that, and then you gotta think about, okay, even though they might have that rank, what's their role? What's their position? Because even though you got a lieutenant colonel, you may not be at the wing level or the group level. You just might be at command. So you're not necessarily gonna be at the big table. You might not be
Sitting
in
with
Quantico.
Congress.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause you got sergeant majors that's on base, but you also got sergeant majors that's in headquarters Marine Corps. They the same rate.
But
They,
it's
you know what I
one
mean?
whole higher
One-
billet
yeah,
than
exactly,
others.
the
Yeah.
billet. So
That's crazy. how
that,
that
it
shit
plays a
work.
part into
It
all
is.
of it, but it just simply goes back to how demanding the Marine Corps is on the body in general. Like, you think about what you got to go through for years on top of years, and then you got, it's just science. I'm not saying that men are physically or better, and it's just science. The male body is designed physically better than the female
to
one.
take much more punishment
Exactly.
longer than
But then you
than a
think-
woman.
You have the outliers that, we got females that fucking shit on men all day long.
Yeah, don't get me.
You got those, but in general, on the overall scheme, the physical demand, and I think this is where it goes to your point, the physical demand on the body, just females in general just don't feel like putting up with it for 20, 30 years, as opposed to a dude who's like, well, fuck it, I did it this long.
And that's where mind over body comes
Yeah.
in. Let's be real, because we just had the first female infantry officer crossover. So that was just the mind over body thing, because she suffered some injuries within training.
But she went through 3 times.
Right. And that was what? Straight mind over body.
Yeah, she's
She was probably on a mindset like, or a goal. She's like, I'm fuck this, I'm doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I
So-
would, don't never leave the room for it to be impossible.
No,
It's
I'm
just-
not saying that at all.
Mhm.
I just, like you said, it's just the physical demand of the Marine Corps in general is just a lot on the human body,
Yeah, it is.
period. So I think, like you said, when you think about women when they start having kids and raising families,
You're right.
this shit ain't fun no more when you humping and carrying packs and you got to get up at, like you said, 4 or 5 in the morning, run 3 miles, 6 miles, or whatever the case. You like, nah, I'm
Yeah, it's
ready.
be folding like a lawn chair.
Yeah,
About
you like
46.
at that point, you're like, man, I'm ready to just go home, be with my kids.
26.
I want me an office job or something. Like, it's dudes that think like that. Like,
Mhm.
I'm done with this shit. So I mean, like, I'm not discrediting any female whatsoever, but I think at a certain point, when you and you hit a certain age in your body just responds differently to certain things, and you just reach a point where you're like, I'm done with this. Fuck this.
Mhm.
Everybody has their limits. I mean, shit, I'm getting my 20 years though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm get that.
For sure.
How is your question?
I got no question. You was asking, I just answered.
I thought you was gonna think one, then nah.
Cause you let me follow up, man. You
Oh.
should've
Where
cut
we
me
at as
off.
far as time? We want the viewers to still be
We gonna do
tuned in.
do
you know?
10 more minutes. We about to hit 2 hours. So
We gonna cap
F
it.
it.
off there.
we gotta be one more question. You got
Who got the juice?
Okay, I mean,
like.
just to go back to your topic of
Plus, I got
the
pee, so I'll be
mindset, and I
back.
think that's what I think that's what he was trying to go with the question. Like when he was asking, what makes you think that you can, you couldn't pass the Marine Corps PFT, CFT, or whatever. And then he was kind of leading to it, but I don't know if he ever got to it. But what makes you feel like, or what makes you think you're ready to go to a different branch?
Honestly, physically, like as far as if we're just talking the run in general, my strength was never a problem. I was always very strong, always over exceeded whatever it was as far as a female stand. I'm not gonna say I went to the utmost to over exceed, but I put out. just the Marine Corps standard in general. I feel like, they increase their standards as far as statistics, right? So the better you do, the higher the standards are. If you got Marines out here fabricating what they're actually doing in their PFTs or CFTs because you got folks who are looking out or so forth. Not saying that,
No, they are. Which they are.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it is. But that's not everyone, because I don't want everybody to think that. But they're going to keep increasing the standards. So if we be realistic with what it is, then maybe they will have reachable standards for not for everyone, but for the majority for general, as a whole. Yeah. So if we could get that, that'd be great. I don't want to leave the Marine Corps just because of the way my mindset has been built up for it. And I feel like I may have to not necessarily calm down, because I'm not a rowdy individual, but I know it's there, and I like to keep it, tame. I don't know why you see that. Like, it is what it is. But I know for sure I could be there. I could be wherever you throw me. I know I could adapt. I'll put it like that. If you want to be a drill instructor, I can do that. If you want me to calm down and talk to the people, I can do that. If you want to be MSG, I can do that.
You definitely would have had fun on MSG. I think it just goes back to like full circle how we talked about where you, once you learn the game and you understand the system and how it operates, you start tailoring it. You know what I'm saying? How you conduct yourself to benefit the game, where the game benefits you. So I think that's where
you'll fail every time.
Exactly, and I think that's kind of how for me it came full circle. Where like even though we disagreed in the beginning and we kind of like went back and forth, like it clicked full circle because you seen it, and then as your transition as getting out and then trying to pursue in the Army, you see it like, okay, it may not have worked out here, but I understand like what the institution is, what they're shooting for. I get it. Marine Corps standards are super high. Motherfuckers lying on tests, keeps going up. But I understand if I can play this game, I can manipulate, moving over here and make it more beneficial to work for me.
But I'm just one in thousands. Yeah. Everybody got to be on the same page to make this shit really happen.
And again, like I said, man, Chris gonna let me drag this out even longer than what it needs to be.
Nope. I cut your ass off. Go ahead.
Nah, I mean, that's pretty much wrapping it up. Like I said, it just came full circle. For me, the big thing is if you know that the system and how it operates, once you know that, you start tailoring that shit to where it benefits you. Because, like you said, everybody can't be a Marine. The Marine Corps is not for everybody. But for those that are in, the sooner you figure out the game and the quicker you learn how to manipulate that system to benefit you, you gravy from there. Once you figure that out, you on easy street.
It's crazy. I've been in almost 2 years, and I've been in for a year in the fleet, and I figured that shit out. So I'm blessed. I'm real blessed.
I'm telling you.
But I won't be serving my time though with this organization.
It took me a couple years, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So now I gotta go and learn a whole new organization if I'm allowed to do so.
Yeah, but you got the blueprint, so you good.
I do for this organization. Everybody don't move like how we move.
Yeah, but it's all the same at the end of the day. The blueprint is we all move the same thing.
Yeah, you got the
like you said, it's the basic structure, but like it's just little things. Like I guess I talked about this in another podcast, but I'm changing branches of service, and for me is what I'm worried about is just timing, because everybody operates time or execute timing in a different way. So like board packages, promotions, and just different things like schoolhouses, everything is different. But like at the end all be all, they have a schoolhouse, they have a board, they have a promotion panel. It's still the same. It's just all it is your time is adjusted. Maybe they might want to see different things in a sense. But for those that don't know, being a Marine first, we have an advantage because we do have the highest standards. So with us having a MCMAT belt, with us having certain educations and qualifications and different leadership courses and things of that nature, when that transfers over for another branch, you tack. And plus, some people go for score. With that being said, when it's going for score, it's like, oh, shit, you good already. You already got this, you got that, you got this. You got damn quadruple exceeded our standards because of this. Like for MCMAT, for Marine Corps Martial Arts Program. For other branches of service, you're in the Marine Corps first, but say if you got your green, brown, black belt. Well, we would just say all the belts, but it's really, you only really count for green, brown, and black. But if you got those belts or whatnot, you could wear those belts in another branch's uniform.
Okay. Okay.
So it's cool at the end of the day. So, yeah. But I don't know.
That's something new to me.
Yeah. So I wish the best of luck to you. Me and Ford
you,
talked about this earlier. We kind of hit up on it on the podcast. It's just about the old heads kind of pushing knowledge. I don't consider us old heads.
Nah. But y'all know enough, but y'all still in tune.
Yeah, we know enough. We still in tune. But the main factor is I'm still willing to push out. That's the thing. And another aspect of the podcast is it's like the news and probably like just different platforms, social media, or just like different podcasts always saying like, America doesn't give back to our military veterans. So I'm on a double-edged streak with this, right? And what I mean by this, it's just Ford can probably interject. This probably be another 80 minutes, right? So, okay, yes, we see a lot of military homeless veterans.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. They're out there, right? So, what my overall plan is I can't help everybody. One person can help everybody at the end of the day, right? So, my mission is to kind of talk to enough military personnel to kind of help understand what programs are out there to help the ones that are not in right now.
But that's the thing. It's so many programs.
Yeah.
And they apply differently to your circumstance.
True.
And they don't know where to start. I feel
So, okay, if they don't know where to start, and if you can start with one, you got them all. That's how I feel. If you know one, depending on your branch, or we'll just say DOD wide, you could go to all, because I feel as though maybe that GS worker that may work at the VA, they have to have certain, like, okay, this program don't work, you can qualify this for this program. This program don't work, you qualify for this program and this program combined. You know what I'm saying?
You only know as much as the person informing you.
Exactly.
Honestly.
So I want to inform all my military personnel, because I just learned so much shit for the Marine for Life program. And it was like, yo, I did not know that. Like, yo, Marine for Life, they have like a program where you can fucking stream concerts. I know it's don't play for education, but it's like Apple Music for the military. And like, once you sign up and you get out, you can fuck around and stay on it for life. That's crazy. And this other like other education, I gotta bring the binder in. Like, we'll talk about this on another podcast.
Okay.
But it's just like, yo, it's crazy how much information is out there. But I don't want to speak for the whole Marine Corps.
We don't push it.
But we don't push it as a whole. Like, for the Marines that are under me, that talk to me, I always push the military apprenticeship program, US MAPS.
Hell yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And all you got to, I put
Sad,
I put you, it's sad, but, I'll put you on after. But all you really got to do is usmaps.cnet. And all you do is whatever your MOS is, and just type in your hours and go from there. I did a whole PowerPoint for my whole MOS for the Marine Corps about it. Did it go anywhere? Not really. It didn't go anywhere, but I did that out of the kindness of my heart, because I want people to know. And for those that don't know, let's map it out in the whole career, right? So you do your initial MOS. So your initial MOS is admin. So you do 4 to 6 years. I know we pushing it. 4 to 6 years of admin. Knock out whatever certifications you do. Around that time frame, you should be eligible for B billing, right? So say if within admin you have about 3 certifications, we'll just say 2 certifications that you're qualified for, right? So you knock out 2 certifications that's eligible for the Department of Labor. You do your B billing, recruiting. I'm just speaking for the Marine Corps right now. Recruiting, MSG, and drill instructor. They're all eligible for another certification through the Department of Labor. So that's 3 off the rip. There's a staffing CO. You eligible for another one. That's 4. So that's 4 apprenticeships within the military that you could get. And a lot of people don't know that. That's fucking crazy. And all you got to do is put in hours, get a signature, and put it into Pensacola. Then it comes back from the Department of Labor from D.C., and here you go.
Again, like we talked about before, it's just certain information just don't get pushed out.
Yeah.
And then, like she said, it's kind of hard to ask questions that you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you about it.
Yeah, and it sucks. And with me, sometimes it could be a double-edged sword. What I'm about to say is when you need to know.
I'm gonna need to know.
That's when it affects you most.
Yeah, because it's
I
like,
don't care about something I don't know about if it
Yeah.
don't affect me.
yeah.
So then
And-
when I be like, damn, what's this? Oh, I could have had this shit 6 years ago.
And the
Yep.
crazy part is when it's need to know, it's like I
It's
won't
too late.
tell E1, E2 about. I wouldn't advise the E1 or E2 in the Marine Corps to go for the green belt. That's me personally.
Why
I
not?
don't think they can.
They can.
They
We have
can.
one going through it right now.
Definitely.
Yeah,
to
we
look
have
that
one.
up.
I wouldn't advise them.
Why
Hey,
though?
because E1, E2, you could really stick at tan. Let's be honest. E3 you could go to gray. E4 go to
I'll
green.
tell you why. I mean, but
It's career progression, but
yeah. And again, it goes back to playing the system. So with me, I did it earlier. I got sergeant. I was a sergeant. I got my black belt.
Okay.
So in the eyes of people that's looking at me on the board, I haven't shown progression in that area since fucking 2010 when I got my black belt. I didn't go get a tab because it's not required, but it shows progression. I'm like I ain't get no tab. I got my black belt. I'm good. So from 2010 till now, McMap, I ain't did shit. So if you think about, as a sergeant, I got my green belt, what was required. Then as a staff sergeant, I got my brown belt. Then I picked up gunny, I got my black belt. It shows progression every year in a Marine Corps asset that they view as vital. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I can see that. And looking at him, he's showing progression in this, and this. Every rank he picked up, he got another belt. So that's
They're
why.
gonna be able to talk about you on paper, but
Oh, they see that shit on my OMPF.
But overall, you're doing so much more, man. Like,
It don't matter when you looking at it. Again, you got to learn the system. So I learned it the hard way because I was like you. I came in that shit. I'm hungry. Boom, sergeant, I'm getting my black belt. Boom, I got it. I'm sitting back looking at my peers, and they like, you got your black belt, but I'm going to go ahead and get this one belt right here, pick up promotion, get this next belt, because it's showing progression at every level. Whereas me, sergeant, black belt, it looks good at that time. Damn, he a sergeant with a black belt. That looks great. Now I'm a staff sergeant with a black belt.
but that's the shit they don't tell you about
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what he's talking
until
about.
you go talk to a career
And so,
planner.
yeah, when you
say even a career planner
career
when
plan
you
ain't
put
gonna
you
tell
on
you
game
that.
like that.
It's just gonna be another old head that did it the hard way. It was like, well, shit. That's why I did it like this, because every time I pick up, I get a new belt. Every time I pick up, I read a book from the Commandant's reading list. I only read one, but boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So little shit like that people don't tell you. Again, that just goes back to learning the game and making that shit work for you. Because you can easily go get 2-3 belts. Boom, 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 knock it out. I'm going to go get all these hours in. Or you can just pick up, get a belt, knock out those McMap hours. All right, I got my belt, sign this off, submit that. Boom. OMPF, fit rep bullet, boom. Next rank. Boom, get another belt, OMPF, fit rep bullet, boom.
That's a smart way.
Look, yeah, exactly. So, but people don't teach you that shit. People
Yeah.
don't tell you that. So you got to get with people, talk to people, network. Like, dog, why you a sergeant or staff sergeant? You still got a green belt. Bitch, because I'm getting one belt every time I pick up.
Or every 2 times.
Yeah,
for
you know what I
real,
mean?
depending on
Something.
your MOS, because some MOSs have multiple schools or whatnot, so you got to attend. So it's like, shit, if I go to a schoolhouse as a staff, shit, I don't need my belt. I'm good. I can fucking chill out my cock out.
But yeah, it's little things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I say, you just got to. But it goes back to like he was talking about. You don't know what you don't know until somebody puts you on game. And then that's when you be like, damn, I could have did this. Now I feel like I done wasted all this time. But that's why, you come chop it up with me. I'm going to give you the game. I ain't keeping nothing. It don't benefit me to keep knowledge.
Yeah.
I know it. I do what I need to do, but what is it good? What good is it going to do me holding on to it?
Yeah. Not that it no longer applies to you, but you can help a junior Marine.
That's what I'm saying. It don't do me no good to hold it, so that's why I kick it back. Like, it don't do me no good to fucking hoard knowledge.
Any
Stuff that will though.
Facts.
You're one of the few that can.
Facts.
That's what it is. You
any
can.
closing remarks? Anything you want to say? I know you haven't disrespected the organization,
Of course, I would never.
the Marine Corps community
Never
as a
would.
whole. I do wish you best of luck in your
Endeavors.
in your endeavors. Shit. I mean, it's only aim separation, and like Ford said it before. I'll say it. You can say it. Yo, yeah, you may be in the military, but people gotta realize like a certain branch in the military may not be for you.
Yeah.
So, hey, switch to another one.
If you can.
if you
you're
can,
allowed the
if you're
opportunity.
eligible, if you can, switch to another one because you should go to something that you're tolerated and not you're celebrated and not tolerated in.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, you know.
If you ain't dead, you ain't done. That's how I put it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you afforded another opportunity, so I mean, hey, you still
and pride don't
kicking.
pay the bills at the end of the day.
They don't. They don't.
fact.
Because
It
once
can,
you
but
hit
it don't.
20 years, you eat out the same DOD pot. And I feel as though you're for the younger Marines that may listen or the younger military that listen.
Mhm.
Once you hit about E5 or whatnot, maybe E6 or whatnot, you realize E6 in the Marine Corps is the same as the E6 in the Army, same as the E6 in the Air Force, same as far as
Paycheck,
pay.
yeah.
Paycheck. But so I break it down to even further, right? So it's an E5, right? Bam, E5 in the Marine Corps, E4, E5.
Sergeant.
I gotta close out on this one. We at 205 minutes.
Alright.
So,
Alright,
so
we gonna do this.
yeah, we idolize like we the backbone of the Marine Corps. We do this and that, right?
Yeah.
So if you break down the E5 in the Navy, well, E4, E5 in the Navy, E4, E5 in the Air Force, E4, E5 in the Army, right? They have less stress, same paycheck. Which one would you rather deal with? Let me know.
I already know. She said work smarter, not harder, so I already know what she's doing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, what would you rather deal with? Like, what brownie points do you actually get from I've done it? Yeah, you get some type of experience, but at the same time, being at that age, do you really know it all?
You don't.
So, do you kind of think that you set other people up for failure?
In what aspect, though?
Finances, maybe some type of mentorship. Because if you break it down to age, right? I think did we talk about this?
You better close it out. We've been here for a while.
Yeah, no, we can't go down this road. We can't.
We talked about it before.
So we break it down to age, right?
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
can
a
Just want y'all to know this is not my fault that this conversation or this podcast is 2 hours plus.
fuck it.
We
No,
gonna
I
hit
ain't-
3
I ain't-
hours.
We
Why?
I ain't
can't do
gonna
them
go.
like
I
that.
ain't
We
gonna
gotta
go.
have them in tune.
I'm not gonna go. It's too long. It's too long. Now we'll go again. We'll go tomorrow. or
Part
something
two.
like that.
Part
yeah.
two. We can do a part two.
Let me know.
A part two.
I'm
Yeah.
with it.
Hell,
You said
talking
candy
about?
apples.
I don't know what this man talk about.
What?
It's just a whole bunch of sweet shit.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, but
Yeah.
Like you just dropping like candy for like young cats.
dropping
like,
jewels. I call it
like-
dropping jewels.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like kids don't care about jewels. They care about candy. And the way I see it is the young cats, we're gonna look at it and it's gonna like either this is like something that I want or nah, like whatever, bro. I don't want no Brussels sprouts. Nah.
Okay. I get it. All right. Is there any closing remarks? You want to shout out your social media? What?
Nah, man, not really. I'm not too loud like that. I mean, just get me in another branch for real. I'm just trying to get in, put my foot in the door. But no, other than that though, no, I appreciate you having me. If we do a part two, I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's a lot more that I would love to say. Depending on how deep you want to go with it. No, for real though. Depending on how deep you really want to go, and this is really some shit I could say, but I'm just getting a feel for what's going on. You know, I feel like I'm on the Breakfast Club. But no, appreciate it. Thank you for having me. You know, this was good. This was a good day one. That's
It's your boy Ford. It's my second podcast. Again, I'm real deep with it, so sorry if this podcast dragged out a little bit longer than he wanted to, but he ain't put the cap on. I told him to cut it short, so here we are.
All right. We won't talk about rap battle no more. We won't talk about rap.
That ain't even.
Oh,
take
I
that
mean,
long.
if we, that's another podcast.
Nah,
Cause
that's another podcast.
You gotta do a podcast just for that.
Yeah.
yes,
That's what you need to do. We
Yes.
we get a podcast with one topic and run with it.
Okay. So everybody close out. Nobody want to exchange their social media.
Nah, don't
so.
follow me on nothing.
you don't know me.
But hey, y'all know the social media. I'm selling the dad hats. keep that same energy, and I'm good, love, and joy.
Definitely buy. I'm about to buy
Yeah,
one.
I
so
got 2 already.
Distress, I need
let's
it.
cop. Let's
We also got that pure white Henny.
and we got the
alright?
pure white Hennessy, about 10 bottles on deck equally. So just hit us up, slide in the DMs. At underscore unpredictable thoughts on Instagram, and then that's when you get the plugs. It's a plug to a plug, so yeah, you can't get to the direct plug, but all that we selling merchandise, we selling Cuban cigars, authentic.
You don't know shit about that. Don't.
Yeah, with these 66. I can't even. I don't even know the cars. I just know it was a 66 something.
Shout out to all the listeners, man.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, shout out to all my listeners. And for real, yeah, I understand that I'm kind of talking to a lot of Marines. I do want to reach out to the other branches of service, but
Definitely.
I just don't know where to start. So if y'all interested of telling your story, telling what's going on, hey, reach out to me underscore or at underscore unpredictable thoughts. And I just want to hear your story. And like I said earlier, I'm not here to disrespect the DOD, not here to disrespect any branches
Never
of
that.
service.
Never that.
These are their stories. If y'all, this is almost like a survey in a sense.
Yeah.
If you're kind of wondering like, okay, why this sailor, I was about to say Coleman, why this sailor, this airman, this army, no, this soldier, why this Marine, why this coastie is getting out. Shout out to my coasties.
Space Force in the making.
Yeah, why the Space Force
Space cadets.
Yeah, space cadets, why they getting out or what's going on with them? Hey, they may have a similar story that fit into somebody that I converse with. I don't interview, I converse with. Hey, at the end of the day, I don't mind having a conversation with the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, the Commandant, the goddamn CMC, what is the top person in the Army?
I think it's Sergeant Major of the Army.
Shit.
Sergeant Major of the Army, and
Secretary.
what would be the officer side? Yeah, I don't mind having a conversation. We just have a conversation and just ask them why they make certain decisions. I know they have an advisory team, so it doesn't really come from them, but just to talk. So, like I said, no disrespect to none of them. I know a new order came out of how social media is supposed to be ran and things of that nature. I just feel as though I'm kind of doing the favor, but in a more authentic realm or whatnot. So, yeah, that's my podcast, Unpredictable Thoughts. It's your boy Troubles in the building. Peace.